It's the second longest rivalry in Division II football. 1999 marks the 101st meeting between South Dakota and South Dakota State. And not since the series opener back in 1898 as the two schools featured two of the best running backs in the country. 5'10" senior Jamel White from South Dakota has run wild on the dome carpet, averaging 160 yards a game, including a 198-yard performance last week against Morningside. For the Jacks, Josh Ronick, only 5'9", and usually runs over opposing defenses. Ronick broke the all-time rushing record 2 weeks ago at South Dakota State, and Josh is just a sophomore and a candidate for the Harlan Hill Award. Look for two of the smaller players to make the most noise on the field. Off the field, it's always wild when State meets the U, and you can see it right here, right now on KELO TV.
Good afternoon and welcome again, everybody, to the DakotaDome in Vermillion on the campus of the University of South Dakota, home of the USD Coyotes. And this afternoon we've got the in-state rival between the Jackrabbits and the USD Coyotes, the 101st meeting, second longest rivalry in Division II football. And as we mentioned in the open, there are a couple of great running backs on either side of the football. Josh Ronick for South Dakota State and Jamel White for the USD Coyotes, running behind obviously some fabulous offensive lines. Tom Neiman, John Wilson, and the unbelievably talented KELO production crew bringing it to you from the DakotaDome in Vermillion. And Johnny, you just got to start with the running backs, White and Ronick, when you talk about this football game.
Exactly, and that's been the buzz all weekend. A lot of football going on down here, the football capital of South Dakota this time of year. But when you talk of the two backs, nobody's really been talking who's going to win the game. They've been talking who's going to run for more yards down on the field. Of course, they have the yardometer. They put that up last night, so the student body section will be keeping track.
Choice to kick, receive, defend, or go, or defer your choice to the second.
As we take a listen
you want the
to
ball.
the
Which goal you want to defend,
down at midfield.
Okay, turn around that way. Okay, I'll get it upstairs. South Dakota State has won the toss. South Dakota State. Have a good game, guys.
All right, as you heard, the Jackrabbits win the toss. They will get the football as we start this game this afternoon between the Coyotes and the Jackrabbits. And we'll be back to kick it off right after this.
North Central Conference football on KELO TV is sponsored by the University of South Dakota, setting the standard. Amdahl Motors, your local Chrysler, GM, and Plymouth dealer in Pipestone, Minnesota. South Dakota Beef Council, it's what's for dinner. East River Electric, your local electric cooperative, a touch-tone energy partner. Norwest Bank, your local financial solution stores. And South Dakota State University, knowledge for life.
We are ready for some football from the Dome in Vermillion. South Dakota State coming into this game at 6-3 overall, 4-3 in the North Central Conference. The USD Coyotes with a 3-6 record, and they are 2-5 in the NCC coming into this one. South Dakota State won the toss, and they will receive. Filipovic out of Yugoslavia will kick it off for the Coyotes from his own 35. Deep to receive, it is Frank Blaylark, a redshirt freshman out of Las Vegas, out over the 20-yard line, gets stuffed at about the 23. And that's where South Dakota State will take over, and we'll get a look right away at Josh Ronick, the most prolific running back in South Dakota State history, and just a sophomore.
And a lot of fun to watch. Just a little bulldog. You can barely see him getting through the line, but once he does shoot through the line, as we mentioned in the open, he'll run over defensive backs and run around most of the linemen. Just quick little water bug coming out of the backfield.
Ronick,
go ahead, Tom.
Ronick at 5'9", 200 pounds, loves to be in the weight room, is in great shape, but he can carry people with that small frame. But again, just a sophomore out of Tyndall, South Dakota, went to Bonham High School down there. Andy Rennerfeld is the quarterback, and here is Josh Ronick, and big yardage right off the bat. First down and then some for Ronick, gain of about 13 out across the 35-yard line.
Coyote linebackers are really going to have to keep a close eye on Ronick coming out of the backfield. Rennerfeld does a good job with the ball fakes, and that'll set up their pass as well. But Josh Ronick, north-south runner, he'll just take it right at you, and there he is. Opens up the game with a nice 12-yard run.
Mark Nelson out of Lyle, Minnesota's 44, the fullback who does that lead blocking for Ronick. Number 9, Chris Gary out of Sioux Falls, Lincoln, split wide right. Again, Rennerfeld actually leads the Jackrabbits in total yards per game. He can throw it and he can get out and run it. Here's Ronick again off the right tackle. And about 5 more yards again for Ronick. He's run for 1,510 yards already in 9 games for South Dakota State, averaging 168 yards a game, 18 touchdowns on the season.
Just amazing. That huge game down at Wayne State at the beginning of the year, 239 yards in that game, and pretty much single-handedly took it to Wayne State.
And that was a game he played only about 2.5 quarters. Got a little sick during that game.
Understandably so after running that far.
So on 2nd and 5, Rennerfeld will sit him down. There's Gary going split left. Brock Barron is their leading receiver, number 4. He goes wide right. This is Gary. Out close to a first down, and it looks like he does have a first down right at the 49-yard line for South Dakota State.
And when you look at this rivalry, South Dakota State has had the USD's number in the recent years. 10 of the 12 meetings have gone to South Dakota State, including last year's 24-10 win up at Coughlin Alumni in Brookings.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Rabbits, 49-yard line on their opening possession. Second to last week in the North Central Conference season for both of these teams. They'll travel over to Minnesota next week to wrap it up. Ronick again on a little delay, took a chop step and slipped the tackle at the line of scrimmage. 10 yards, 15 yards, fumble. But a Jackrabbit lineman was right there to get on it. Brock Zierden out of Melrose, Minnesota, redshirt freshman, was on the spot as Ronick coughed it up after a 15-yard gain.
See the right guard, Doug Schultz, having a little problem getting around Rennerfeld as he was pulling, so Ronick kind of made up his own. Instead of going off tackle, he cut it to the outside and streaked down the sidelines, and that's what he's good at doing.
Zierden there to wrap it up, so first down again for the Rabbits at the 33-yard line of USD. Trips right, Gary and Brock Barron split to the outside. Here's Rennerfeld on first down.
Let's go, let's go.
Ronick had it broken up. Would have been a gain of about 4, but broken up there by number 19, Rory Triplett out of Iowa City. A lot of Iowa influence on this USD roster, as you would imagine.
John Austin, first year here, coming from the University of Iowa, and it's talking to a couple of coaches around the NCC this year. They were pretty interested to see how this program is going to turn around. He said you can't really judge it by his first year because, of course, John Austin didn't recruit any of these players in this year, but they said give him 3 or 4 years and there should be a noticeable change in USD football.
2nd and 10 for the Rabbits. Just underway first quarter. First drive of the game for SDSU. Nelson the lead block for Ronick. And again, he gets that running start and gets up ahead of steam down inside the 25. And a gain of 8. So it'll be 3rd and 2.
And a huge hole to run through in that play. Jack's doing a good job firing off on the ball, and USD defense heading backwards, but Ronick with a nice hole right up the gut.
Up along that offensive front for SDSU, Matt Berry out of Spearfish, 305-pound senior. He's been on that offensive line for 3 years now, and he opens up a lot of those holes for Josh Ronick. Doug Schultz on the right side of the line along with Brock Zierden. And we've got timeout on the floor. 12:25 to go first quarter. Rabbits drive it.
Third and 2 for South Dakota State at the 25-yard line.
USD took a timeout to talk it over. 3rd and short coming up here for South Dakota State. 3rd and about 1.5 yards from the USD 23-yard line. Full house backfield this time. John Hodorf comes in for the Rabbits. Nelson in motion. And the give to who else but Ronick, and close to a first down. Looks like he did pick it up down to about the 21-yard line, and it is a South Dakota State first down. Jackrabbit started this opening drive at their own 23-yard line and down to the opposing 22-yard line now. 1st and 10. Again, Andy Rennerfeld out of Oakland, Nebraska, a junior, is the South Dakota State quarterback. Can certainly throw at 55% completions on the year, 1,800 yards, 13 touchdowns. And he can tuck it under when he's under pressure. Nelson in motion again on first down. Toss sweep, Ronick outside. Coyotes string it out well this time. We've got a couple of flags coming in right at the 25-yard line. Nelson was out there, and they threw the flag right at his feet. And a Coyote down on the play.
I think we're going to have a holding call on the fullback Mark Nelson. He came out and you notice 2 USD Coyotes hit the carpet in a hurry.
2 Coyotes went down and 2 flags came out.
Kind of got locked up in the pads and opened up his hands. And normally when you're getting into a block, your hands open up and
44.
you grab the jersey and pull him down. 10-yard penalty.
Holding, offense, number 44. Inbounds.
The injured Coyote, Bruce Davis, defensive back, freshman out of Iowa City, Iowa. Up and off, sort of under his own power. But a holding penalty will put the Jackrabbits back at their own 30, or the USD 35-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 23. Again, Barron, split right. This time Ronick goes to the slot right on 1st and 23. Rennerfelt, extreme pressure coming from the inside. Rennerfelt from his own 50. And that's just thrown down the sideline in hopes that it wouldn't be picked off, basically, but busting through there were plenty of Coyotes. So it'll be 2nd and 23 coming up for South Dakota State.
Andy Rennerfelt doing a good job on eluding the rush right there, but pretty good coverage downfield for the Coyotes. Nobody really open. Josh Ronick came out of the backfield, was open for a minute, but the ball just kind of floated up a little too long, and luckily out of bounds for an incompletion.
Raj Clark, 44, the Coyote linebacker in there that time to put on the pressure. 2nd and 23. Straight drop this time. Rennerfelt looking over the middle. He's got Gary open and just let him a little bit too far. Scott Larson, a junior out of Mobridge that time, putting some pressure on for the Coyotes.
And Andy Rennerfelt shaking his head, saying, yes, I know you were open. He was wide open, streaking through the middle.
Chris Gary, sophomore out of Sioux Falls, Lincoln, and he's become a considerable part of this offense for South Dakota State. 26 catches on the season, 1 for a touchdown. But 3rd and a bunch coming up. 3rd and 23 for South Dakota State from the USD 35-yard line. Of course, both teams have excellent kickers, but this would be a 52-yard boot from the spot they're at right now. And Rennerfelt going down, and that's going to be out of field goal range certainly now. Scott Larson out of Mobridge with the sack on Rennerfelt all the way back at the 46-yard line of the Coyotes.
Big Scott Larson doing a great job fighting off the block, and he just shot right through him before Rennerfelt even set up. Larson was in his face and pulling him down for the big sack.
Clark again came on a stunt from the linebacker spot, kind of drew some attention on the other side of the line. So on 4th and 35, the Rabbits will have to boot it away. Jason Langland out of Brookings, a freshman, back at his own 38-yard line. Langland just does get it away. Good bounce on the carpet inside the 10-yard line and all the way down to about the 7, and that's where USD will take over. And we'll get a look at Jamel White and company for the Coyotes. SDSU's had 6 punts blocked this year and came close that time as Josh Stamer out of Sutherland, Iowa came charging in.
Punter's dream kicking down here in the DakotaDome, or any artificial turf for that matter, as we've been seeing all weekend long. If you don't field that punt, 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a favorable roll if you're on the side of the punter.
Ryan Justice, a redshirt freshman out of Ankeny, Iowa, is the starting quarterback for the USD Coyotes. Jamel White, number 4, the main man for USD, 1,458 yards on the season, 14 touchdowns. He also leads the team in receptions on the season. White, a senior out of Palmdale, California. Coming up tonight on your KELO station, the high school football championships continue. 2 more games this evening. The 11B championship between unbeaten Harrisburg and unbeaten Gregory, and that'll be followed tonight at about 8:30 probably by Yankton and Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Gain of 2 on that first run by White. They go right back to him on 2nd and 8. Good spin at about the 12-yard line. And about 9 Jackrabbits in on the tackle as he gets out to about the 17, and a flag coming in now late.
I think we had a little extracurricular activity, and one of the Coyote linemen came in and a little late on the block. But Jamel White and Josh Ronick, they're kind of like Barry Sanders-esque. You know, if you don't wrap them up right through the line, they'll make something happen. Quick spin move.
First down, and we're going to have a dead ball foul, right? Half the distance? But we have a first down. We're going to have a first down.
First down, yeah.
Okay, and we have a dead ball. No. It's a first down and 1st and 10. Dead ball foul. Personal foul.
So the penalties on the Coyotes for coming in there late.
First down. Dead ball foul. Personal foul. Offense. First down.
Is that after the whistle?
Yes. First down.
So they'll back them all the way up to the 8-yard line.
Where it'll be 1st and 10.
Coyotes will start over at 1st and 10 after the personal foul. Came in after the whistle. 24, John Kyle, goes split left. Gives straight ahead for a couple, just out over the 10-yard line. Justin Jacobs, one of the defensive ends. Travis Lindekugel out of Pierre is the South Dakota State defensive tackle. He, along with Matt Anderson out of Wahpeton, North Dakota, along that 3-man front, or a 4-man front rather, for the Jackrabbits. Matt Peterson out of Hayfield, Minnesota, at one of the other defensive end spots. So it'll be 2nd and 8. White, the only back in the backfield. Motion by the tight end, and Justice wants to throw, the lefty. Whipping it out and overthrown at the 25-yard line. Eric Porsche, the senior out of Flandreau, the tight end, was the intended receiver, but going to be 3rd and 8 coming up, deep in USD territory.
Coyotes have to be careful on this play, down with their backs up against their own end zone. Don't want to do anything too drastic this early in the game. The crowd continues to trickle in. Talking to Kelly Higgins, the athletic director down here yesterday, they were expecting a big crowd. And a little bit worried after pushing in those bleachers, but giving up 300-400 seats.
Yotes spread it out, had 4 receivers in the pattern. Justice overthrows. Kale was open momentarily at about the 35-yard line, but Justice a little strong on the toss. So on 4th and 8 from their own 11-yard line, the Coyotes are going to have to boot it out of there. Filipovic will come in to boot it from his own goal line. Brock Barron back at his own 48-yard line, awaiting the boot. So good defensive series for South Dakota State, aided by the personal foul on the Coyotes. Barron comes up, Coyote 45-yard line, and a flag right down at the 47.
And returns it to the 39-yard line. We have a flag on the return.
Almost looked like USD was waiting for Brock Barron to call a fair catch, but he didn't call it, and I think he got a little too close to Barron on the receiver. You got to give him a couple of yards to catch the ball.
It's called against South Dakota.
Exactly right.
Good concentration in catching that with a couple of defenders bearing down on you.
Get the official call here from the crew from Minnesota.
You'd be better off declining the penalty. You're better off declining the penalty. You've gained 5 yards. Okay. All right. They're declining it then.
So interference on the catch is declined by the Jackrabbits, and they'll take over again with 8:26 to go in the first quarter. So after a 3 and out by USD, South Dakota State in great shape at the 39-yard line of the Coyotes, and Andy Rinnerfelt runs them back out. Mark Nelson, John Theodorf actually in there at the fullback spot this time with Ronick behind him. Here's Josh Ronick. Gain of about 2 this time. Ronick, the workhorse, of course, averages about 30 carries a game. Gain of 2 on that one.
Another full day of NCC football this afternoon. UNO up in Sioux Falls facing Augustana. North Dakota State and Northern Colorado out in Greeley. Morning sides at Minnesota State and Mankato, and St. Cloud up at North Dakota. We'll have highlights of that Augustana game plus this one coming up on KELO Weekend News at 5 o'clock instead of 6 today.
Ronick off tackle again, running behind his fullback, Hodorf, the sophomore out of Hot Springs. Gained him maybe a yard and a half. Again, going to be 3rd and long for South Dakota State. Josh Buckles out of Aurora, South Dakota, runs the play in for South Dakota State, and they'll set it up just outside the 35-yard line of USD. Jack's averaging 31 points a game. So they can put up some numbers, and a lot of that, of course, from Ronick, 18 touchdowns on the season. Again, Barry and Schultz, Zierden, Brad Beck, and Matt Rock out of Sioux Falls, Washington on that offensive front for South Dakota State. Quick out to Gary. Chris Gary, good yardage inside the 20-yard line, down to the 15, inside the 10. And Chris Gary all the way down to the 8-yard line on a little swing pass.
Andy Rennerfeld doing a great job, because right after the ball was hiked, the defensive end from USD stepped up and got the ball right between his hands. And Chris Gary, pretty much out on his own, picked up a block downfield, and see his speed down the sideline, gets down within 7 yards. Pay dirt.
1st and 10 for the Rabbits. Wade Mitchell, the free safety, number 6 there for the Coyotes. Couldn't get there in time. He's 2nd on the team in tackles for USD. 1st and goal from the 8. Buckles split wide right. And Ronick behind Hodorf. Down to the 5, to the 3. And to about the 2.5-yard line goes Ronick. Mitchell came up, helped out on the stop, but Ronick, again, 5'9", 200 pounds, just a bowling ball coming through there. Tough to tackle, bounces off of people.
And tough to find once he gets behind one of those big offensive linemen. That's what he did on that play. Just followed him, got right on his back, and picked up pretty good gain, 4 yards down to the 2.
Great balance. We talked to Augustana's coach Jim Heinitz earlier in the year, describing Ronick, just everything you need in a great running back, the vision and the patience to wait for those blocks. Got both of his fullbacks leading this time behind Hodorf and Nelson, and Ronick. Touchdown, South Dakota State, Josh Ronick. Well, there's South Dakota State football this year.
Smash mouth football right up the gut, and Josh Ronick, you just mentioned how he waits for his blocks, and it's just what he did right there. Lowered his head and pounded it in for a 2-yard touchdown.
Doug Schultz, one of the guards, kind of sealed it off, and they went outside the right side behind Brock Zierden on that right side, and then the fullbacks, Nelson and Hodorf with the great blocks. Christoph DeKramer for the point after. And South Dakota State takes a 7-0 lead, 6:05 to play in the first quarter. You hear teams talk about the pass setting up the run, or the run setting up the pass, and they just go hand in hand very well for South Dakota State this year. We saw the completion to Gary to get him down there.
That's the important thing with those play fakes, because sooner or later the defense is going to be keying on Ronick, probably from the get-go. Probably going to have a linebacker screening him throughout the whole game, and when those linebackers start coming up and safeties start coming up, try and stop Ronick at the line. That's when the pass comes in.
And Dan Patrick from USD is famous for it, but you can't stop him. You can only hope to try and contain him, and that's what teams try to do with Ronick. North Dakota State really the only team that's done it this year. They stopped him short of 100 yards when they beat the Jacks up in Brookings. Again, that North Dakota State Northern Colorado game today, both of those teams with only 1 loss on the season, so that basically for the NCC championship. UNC, the defending champs. Christoph DeKramer. Ball at the 35-yard line. And he boots that one 5 yards into the end zone. So it'll come out to the 20 for the Coyotes with 6:01 to play in the first. If you're a prospective USD student, Fridays at USD, a program here in Vermillion. Pardon me, get an inside look at the program here at the University of South Dakota. Call 1-877-COYOTES or look them up on the internet at sd.edu. And that's Fridays at USD for an inside look at the University of South Dakota. Justice on first down, looking for Porish again, his tight end. Incomplete. Porish and Per Ostrom kind of platoon at that tight end spot for the Coyotes. USD averaging 23 points a game. Pretty well balanced, 190 yards on the ground, 170 yards through the air. But Justice, the freshman, took over this year for Peter Martin. Martin out of Rapid City was the starter to begin the season. And about the last 5 games, Justice has been in there. White looking for some room, and the Rabbits just string it out all the way to the sideline, and he's going to lose 2 yards. It'll be 3rd and 12, 3rd and about 11 coming up for USD. White again built similarly, is that a word? Similar to Josh Ronick. Jamel White, 5'10", 210 pounds, just a block of granite. Senior out of Palmdale, California. Went to a junior college out there, and the USD connections caught up with him. A former player here was out there and mentioned USD, set him up with the school, and he has been great this year for the Coyotes. 14 touchdowns on the season, also their leading receiver. And 3rd and 11 rather for USD. Justice flushed out, looking back now. He's got a man at the 45-yard line, and a flag coming in there late. Chris Reiner out of Yankton was back defensively for South Dakota State. Jeremiah Charlson, the man from Brookings, was the intended receiver, in the flag right at the 49-yard line, and it looks like it's going against South Dakota State. Charlson had a shot at the ball, actually. Take another look at it.
I think they both did. I think
Defensive
Ryan
pass
Justice,
interference. Number 42, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
the pass was a little short. Charleston tried to come back for it, and it appeared that they just bumped each other. Could be called incidental contact, maybe. Both of them going for the ball, but they called on the Jacks. First down, USD.
Out at the 34-yard line, Charleston, 25 catches on the season for the Coyotes. Justice rolling this time, and he's got his man out of the backfield, Mike Weister, junior out of Wisconsin, and he's all the way down inside the 40-yard line. Nicely designed little play. Got Weister out. Really nobody out there to stop him.
Another thing Jamel White does so good is carry out his fakes. Look at Jamel White carrying out the fake. He brought half of the defensive backfield for the Jacks with him, and it was wide open on the other side. And see a pretty good gain for the Yokes.
Got him one-on-one with the linebacker. So down to the 36-yard line of South Dakota State. White up a little misdirection. Good play out there by South Dakota State's linebacking crew. Jesse Liggins, one of the safeties, came up, along with Dale Hayden, junior out of Watertown. Kept him to a 2-yard gain. So USD trying to answer the South Dakota State touchdown. Jackrabbits lead at 7-0 here in the first quarter. And again, there's Hayden, number 26, one of the corners for South Dakota State. Again, the spread, no backs in the field as White goes in motion. They swing it out to Jamel White. He's got a couple of blockers downfield. Inside the 25, White to the 20. First down and then a bunch more. Finally brought down by Casey Hillman, but not until he gets inside the 20-yard line, all the way down to the 16.
You can see at the beginning of this drive they were trying to get Jamel White outside on the sweep, and The Jacks kept denying that. They stretched out. This is one good way to get him outside and beat some of the blocks. He picks up a nice block right there and springs him for about 5 or 6 more yards.
Good play by Hillman to fight off the block and eventually make the tackle. 16-yard line of South Dakota State. Justice sets him down. They go to the I this time. Weister with the carry off the right side. And a gain of almost 10 yards. Down to about the 7-yard line. The 2nd and short coming up. Coyotes with some good offensive rhythm, though, on this series. Mixing it up. Second and about a yard from the 7-yard line of SDSU. Yotes up quickly to the line. White, the lead block from his big man, got the first down to about the 5. Just inside the 5 is where they're going to mark it. Be first and goal for USD.
A 2-yard pickup and a Coyote first down.
Good job by Matt Peterson coming around from his defensive end spot. He actually hit Jamel White in the backfield, but Jamel with those strong legs carried him another 2 yards, picked up the first down. First and goal, Yotes.
Offensive linemen are just huge these days in college football. Josh Burr, 6'8", 310 pounds over on the right side of that offensive line for USD. He's number 76, kind of stands out. Nate Irwin at a paltry 275 is the right guard. This time they go left, right up the gut. White to the goal line, and Jamel White, no indication yet, stopped just short of the goal line. And now they do come in, say Jamel White scores the first touchdown of the game for USD. Kind of had to unpile him and see where White was.
Unpile those big linemen. After watching 4 high school games last night, I was down on the field earlier watching these guys warm up, and you are right, they are huge. Jamel White carries the pile over the goal line to get the Coyotes on the board.
Miguel Regalado, the center, 56, a junior out of Phoenix, Arizona. Justin Bridge leading the blocking on that left side. And Adam Hicks out of Sioux Falls will attempt the point after successfully to tie it up at 7 with 2:05 to play in the first quarter from the DakotaDome in Vermillion. Well, as billed, the running backs getting the job done. Josh Ronick, a 3-yard touchdown run for South Dakota State. Jamel White comes back with a 3-yard touchdown run for USD. 15th touchdown of the season for White. And that ties him for total touchdowns, ties him for the all-time record at USD. 19 is the all-time record. Jamel White's set 8 school records already for USD. And his next touchdown will make him the all-time record holder for combined rushing and pass receiving touchdowns as a Coyote.
And that's another thing we've been talking up these backs all afternoon long. Jamel White, excuse me, breaking all kinds of records at USD. Josh Ronick doing the same thing. Already the school's all-time leading rusher in his 2nd year on the field for the Jacks.
He had 285 yards and 4 touchdowns in a game against St. Cloud State earlier this year. Ronick again, and just carries linebackers and linemen and everybody else who wants to jump on. This run will be coming back, though. Gain of about 5 on the play for Ronick, but it'll be wiped out by a holding penalty.
Beyond the run. 54. Tackled him. 54 tackled him. Holding 54. Yeah.
54 is Doug Schultz, the
Holding
right guard for the Rabbits.
Offense, number 54.
Doing a good job with the block, but Kyle got away from him. Instead of letting him make the tackle, he made the tackle and picked up a holding call because of it.
Too many penalties, I'm sure, already for SDSU coach John Stegelmeyer. Going to be first and 22 all the way back at the 16-yard line for South Dakota State. Both coaches, graduates of their programs. Stig, a Selby native, graduate of South Dakota State. trying to swing it out. Barron at the 31-yard line. Great toss by Rennerfeld, little timing pattern, and Brock Barron hauls it in. Out over the 30-yard line at about the 32.
And Andy Rennerfeld took a hit but did a great job. He got rid of the ball right away. And he threw it to where only his receiver could catch it. If Brock Barron wouldn't have caught up with it, it would have went out of bounds for an incomplete pass. But Andy Rennerfeld looked like he took a hit on the knees, trying to kind of work out the kink a little bit.
16-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 6. Rennerfeld looks like he's checking off, changing the play at the line. Looking left to Gary. Chris Gary, there's that little swing pass again. First down yardage for South Dakota State out to the 43-yard line.
Watch number 23, Russell Burwell out there. He kind of bit on the play fake up the middle at his safety position and allowed the big gainer for South Dakota State.
Raj Clark calling the defensive plays for USD, excuse me. So 1st and 10, Rabbits, their own 42.5-yard line. Fake to Ronick, and they swing it out to the big tight end. Chris Paul was out there and had it in his hands for a second. Junior out of Alexandria, Minnesota. A little too much touch on that pass. It just feathered in there.
Too much for the big fella. I think he was kind of surprised on how wide open he was. And saw nothing but open green in front of him.
So on 2nd and 10. Rabbits will try it again. Buckles comes wide right. Backs in the eye, Nelson. With Ronick behind him. Coyotes showing like they want to come with some pressure, but Ronick right up the middle and a gain of 2 out to about the 45-yard line. Going to be 3rd and long coming up, and another flag coming in after the whistle.
And South Dakota State boys clapping their hands. May see a couple of these this afternoon with a couple of rivals meeting down on the field. Things are a little tense.
Foul, personal foul, 93, 15-yard penalty, 93.
So the second personal foul already in the first quarter on the Coyotes.
Personal foul, 93. First down.
And that moves the ball all the way down to just outside the USD 40-yard line now. 1 minute, 1 second to play. First quarter tied up at 7. A Josh Ronick touchdown run, followed by a Jamel White touchdown run for the Coyotes. 1st and 10, South Dakota State. Rennerfeld with Buckles in the slot. Looking right, he's got Barron out there and Nelson out of the backfield, and tough catch for a big guy like that. And another flag coming in as we got some more pushing and shoving going on.
John Austin is just livid on the other side of the field. I don't know if he's angry at the call or his players, but refs discussing which way this one's going to go.
Josh Stamer, one of the outside linebackers for USD, was John with some of the state blockers. Personal foul this time on SDSU. There's John Austin. First year at the helm of the Coyote program.
15-yard penalty moves the ball down to the 6.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, number 54 after the play. First down.
A couple of penalties already on Doug Schultz.
And John Austin very vocal from the moment he got hired down here. He kind of gave a pep talk at his press conference. Very boisterous on the practice field. Then he comes over and talks to you afterwards, and he's the nicest, quietest guy. Loves football.
Little double pass. Gary couldn't quite get it off in time. They had it set up. Barron was downfield, but Rory Triplett came busting through.
And Barron was wide open. Nobody was guarding him at all. As you look down in front of him, nothing but the goal line.
Nobody within 20 yards of Barron, but a good play by Triplett that time to knock it down. So second, it'll be 3rd and 25 coming up for State.
Facing 3rd and 25.
Danny Feldheim, a freshman out of Watertown, one of the backup quarterbacks, signals in the plays for South Dakota State.
And now we finally heard the Coyote fans. They're a little quiet in here. 7-7 ball game. A huge down right now for the Jacks.
State needs to get all the way down to the 30-yard line of USD. Good hook up to Buckles out to about the 43-yard line, but going to be almost 14 yards short of a first down. So we'll see Langland come on again to punt it away for State.
South Dakota State actually doing a pretty good job in moving the ball, but those penalties just killed them right from the bat. They started that drive back in their own 13, and they're moving the ball well. Couple unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and forced them into a punting situation. Now the Coyotes, golden opportunity to take the lead here.
And that is the end of the quarter. And at the end of one, South Dakota State 7, USD 7. We'll be back to Vermillion right after this.
Number 20, Jason Langland is punting for State.
So they turn him around, go the other way. Jason Langland, freshman out of Brookings, back to punt it away for South Dakota State from his own 41-yard line. Stamer coming hard, but an excellent boot by Langland, and too good as it carries into the end zone, and Coyotes will come back out to start the second quarter on offense.
An update of major college football. Now on the Coyotes scoreboard.
Well, in NCAA Division I football, you've got the Heisman Trophy, of course. The equivalent of the Heisman in Division II is the Harlan Hill Award. And two players in this game, the two running backs in this game, are candidates for that award. It's the Division II Player of the Year, Ronick for South Dakota State, and Jamel White from USD. There are 23 candidates across the country in Division II that are up for that award. Justice going right this time.
Number 5, Ryan Justice on the keeper for South Dakota.
Pretty good pickup of about 6. Frankie Blaylark out of Vegas coming up to make the stop. Gain of 8 though on the carry for Justice. Second and short for the Yotes. Little pro set, receivers left and right. White this time on the carry. Smacked down hard at the 30-yard line, and looks like a first down.
Matt Peterson doing a good job in breaking through the line and disrupting that a little bit. Supposed to go off tackle, and Jamel White had to change his mind and head left instead, and South Dakota State doing a good job wrapping him up.
Anderson comes off. Shane Delbridge, redshirt freshman out of Sturgis, comes in defensively for South Dakota State. And it is a first down, Coyotes. Justice, once timeout, is having a little trouble getting the play called. Break on the floor. We'll take 1-2. Back to Vermillion after this. 13:52 to go before halftime. Coyotes burn one of their timeouts, each team with 2 left. Just underway, second quarter. Tied up 7-7 between South Dakota State and USD. 101st game of this series. And man, has it been even over the years. USD leads the all-time series 49-44. 7 ties in the series. In the days before they used to go to the overtime to decide it.
Play him out. Mentioned South Dakota State winning 10 of the last 12, and last year Josh Ronick 218 yards on the ground up in Brookings. So
pick up a 3 in the play.
Gain of 3 makes it 2nd and 7. Coming up for the Coyotes. White the only back. Rabbits coming with some pressure from the outside, and Justice just trying to dump it off. Could be an incomplete pass. He just kind of drilled it to White from about 5 yards away.
Just trying to avoid any serious injury. Both the outside linebackers for South Dakota State were coming on the blitz, and Justice was looking for somebody to dump it off to. Lucky he didn't complete that. It probably would have been a loss of about 6 yards. Jamel White doing a good job of avoiding the catch.
Brandon Teesey, number 47, came with the pressure that time. 3rd and 7 coming up for the Coyotes. They go 2 wide receivers. Right, Charleston split to the outside, and he in motion now. Justice looking that way, but over the middle. And complete to the slot man that time, Steve Young out of Custer, South Dakota.
Yeah, good job by Steve Young. Caught the ball inside the first down marker, but he lunged forward and picked up just enough to move the sticks. Watch Justice, the 7-step drop back, and had 2 or 3 open receivers, but picked the right one, picked up the first down to continue the drive for the Coyotes.
Just inside the 43-yard line. Pitch sweep White. Weister with the lead block, and there's the big man again. 76, Josh Burr, 6'8", 310 pounds.
At the 47-yard line. Therefore, South Dakota State.
Actually, pretty decent job by the Rabbits of stringing it out, but still a 4.5-yard gain for White. Out to the 47-yard line. So USD chewing up some time of possession here. In the first half, Rabbits took the first drive in and scored. And since then, USD has held on to the football. Again, they let the ends come in and the completion, but a good stop by Blaylark to come up and make the tackle on Porsche after a gain of 2. Going to be 3rd and 3 coming up from the 50-yard line. Again, 2 more high school championships coming up tonight on KELO TV. The 11B game between Harrisburg and Gregory. That'll start at 5:30. And after that one, Yankton and O'Gorman in the 11AA championship. On 3rd and 3, Young to the right. They bring Charleston in motion. Justice looking that way. The swing this time to the fullback, Weister, out over the 50, and it gets the first down and then some. Down inside the 40-yard line of SDSU.
It's the second time the Coyotes have run that little flare out with Weister. Everybody going right. Weister's the only one going left, and you see the outside linebacker bearing down on Ryan Justice, and he just simply flipped it out, and Weister doing a good job finding the open field, picking up another first down for USD.
First and 10, 39-yard line of SDSU. Coyotes with a little drive going here. Again, Young, wide right. And Jamel White, the fake to him. Justice got Weister right over the middle, the fullback. And nobody in the middle of the field for South Dakota State. Justice to Weister for a 39-yard touchdown, USD.
Huge mistake on the South Dakota State defense. Nobody in the middle, strong safety, Jason Melcher. Apparently followed White, took the fake, and Weister wide open. You can see Jason Melcher trying to play catch up, but way too late for that.
And again, the fake up the middle just kind of froze everybody. The linebackers came up. They let the pressure come from the outside again, and 39 yards to Weister to give the Coyotes the lead. Adam Hicks tacks on the extra point, and the Coyotes take a touchdown lead at 14-7. Doing it with the passing game on that drive.
And you know, a lot of times when you have a featured back like Ronican White, the other back in the backfield can sometimes take advantage of that because you're so worried about where Jamel White is, what he's going to do, where he is on the play fake, and you kind of forget about the blocking back. And Weister just came out of the backfield. Nobody picked him up, and Ryan Justice doing a good job spotting him wide open right down the middle of the field.
I don't know if Justice was surprised or if they drew it up that way and expected him to be that open. Coming up tomorrow on CBS, the NFL Today at 11 o'clock Central Time. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on Peyton Manning in Indianapolis at noon, and then it is Denver and San Diego in the late game tomorrow in a doubleheader on your KELO station in the NFL. My Chiefs looking decent of late.
Your Chiefs
Shut
are
out
looking
last
pretty
weekend.
good. My Vikes hanging in there.
4-4, there's hope.
Jeff George leading them to the promised land.
Blaylark on the return. Out over the 20. That's where South Dakota State will start it out.
Knocked out of bounds by number 21, Terry King. At the 22-yard line.
So after the opening touchdown by South Dakota State, it's been pretty much all USD since. Josh Ronick took in a 3-yard run midway through quarter number 1 to put the Rabbits on the board at 7-0. USD comes back with a Jamel White touchdown run, and then Ryan Justice hooks it up with Mike Weister on a 39-yard touchdown run, and the Rabbits stuffed defensively. Coyotes a little jacked up now.
Jack's picking it up on defense a little bit. In big games like this, you want to take advantage of the other team's mistakes, and USD doing a good job in that, marching right down the field, picking up a score to take the lead. And you know, when your offense gets going, your defense is going to follow, or vice versa. And seems to, that last touchdown seems to fire it up the Coyote defense just a little bit.
Loss of 3 on the play. Buckle sprints out to the right. Coyotes jumping all over the place. Renner Felt looking for Barron again, kind of that timing pattern, and a flag coming in. And it's a pretty obvious interference that time by Burwell. Andy Rennerfelt just takes the snap, 1 step back, lofts it up for Barron. So they'll go back to the line of scrimmage and walk it off.
Another one of those fade routes, and Burwell
Pass interference, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
looking at the receiver, and when he turned around to try and find the ball, he reached out with that left hand, and
Saw Billy Gasson, number 90, flying in there, making the leap. Freshman out of Rapid City, playing at the backup nose tackle spot for USD. And he stays in there. State shot put champ. Great track athlete, football player for the Cobblers. So 1st and 10 after the interference call. Here's Ronick. Big time yardage. Ronick, can he outrun the defense? 30-yard line, 20, 10, Josh Ronick. Touchdown USD. He goes 66 yards. And I think he has picked up some speed. Last year we saw a couple times where he would get run down by defensive backs. Not this year.
not this year. He just turned on the jets. And I was going to mention, right, watch the 2 safeties on the outside. They came in to blitz, so there's nobody back there. And once Josh Ronick busts through the line, there's nobody there. And the linebacker is not going to catch him.
Looked like Triplett was going to get an angle on him, but Ronick goes 66 yards for his 2nd touchdown of the game. 20 touchdowns on the season for Ronick.
Just turns on the jets.
Kramer adds the extra point.
That was another example of taking advantage of your opponent's mistakes. Nobody covered up in the backfield. Just watch Ronick. Just pounds his way through the line right there. He breaks a tackle and
great block out there. 48, John Hodorf, sophomore out of Hot Springs. Excellent block. He actually took on 2 guys and kind of sealed him inside, and that opened it up for Ronick. So the 66-yard touchdown run will put him close to 1,600 yards on the season. I mean, realistically, he could have a 2,000-yard season. They've never had one at South Dakota State. But with a game left next weekend and almost 3 full quarters here to go, he could get there. Already the all-time leading rusher at SDSU in just his sophomore season. I mean, he is going to set that record so far out there that they are never going to touch it. I guess we said that probably about Walter Payton, the late Walter Payton, and Barry Sanders, had he played this year, was less than 2,000 yards away from it.
Records are there to be broken, but you're right, Tom. It's going to be amazing if anybody can even come close, you know, barring any injuries on him. If, knock on wood, he can finish his college career with no major injuries.
Get Kramer's boot all the way back to the goal line, and some heavy hits there by the Jackrabbits, and they look like they've got the football actually still loose. But about 3 Rabbits were there to pop it loose, and USD somehow gets back on the football. Wow, Coyotes very fortunate this time. Let's take another look. Tarasowicz on the return.
And right there, it looked like South Dakota State had it, and you see the bodies start piling up, and that may be one of those cases, who's got the ball after they pull everybody off the pile. And
Phil Oxness, 33 for the Rabbits, was one of the first guys there. He stays in as a linebacker now. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. White out over the 15.
Jamel White shooting into the backfield, looking for that cutback, and South Dakota State doing a good job in containing him, keeping him in the middle of the field.
Again, Travis Lindekugel, junior out of Pierre, one of the returners, the few returning starters defensively for South Dakota State, along with Matt Anderson, Matt Peterson, and Justin Jacobs on that defensive front for SDSU. 2nd and 4, Justice. And again, tough for a lefty rolling to his right to make that throw, threw it a little bit behind Weister.
South Dakota State doing a good job and keeping the pressure up on Ryan Justice. Justice didn't have time to set up on that and threw it on the wrong side of his receiver, but
Frankie Blaylark there defensively for South Dakota State. 3rd and 4 coming up. Deep in the Coyote end of the field. They send Kale wide left. Double tight ends, stand-up ends on the right side. Looking out this way, and that is Per Ostrom out of Rapid City. And the completion from Justice, 1st down Coyotes. Went with the double tight end set that time and just kind of floated Ostrom out. Ryan Justice throws a man's football. Tight spiral, just zip on it every time. Well-designed play by the Coyotes. Kyle Harrelson of Bruce, South Dakota, came over to make the stop for SDSU. 1st and 10, 26-yard line for the Yotes. Little delay. White's got some room this time. Out over the 35-yard line and finally knocked out at the 38-yard line. 1st down. Again, USD. Gain of 11 on the carry for White.
Man, good job in setting up that draw. Jacks were looking pass, opened up wide open for a split second, but South Dakota State doing a good job in closing him in, but not after a pretty good gain by Jamel White.
Jason Melcher, the free safety, finally had to come over and knock him out of bounds. But White racking up some yardage now. He stays as the lone back. They go double tight end again. White straight ahead. This time not a whole lot there. Makes a little bit out of it himself. Good effort to get 4 yards.
White carries for the Coyotes. Brought down at the 43-yard line, a 4-yard pickup.
Oxness getting up off the bottom of the pile along with Justin Jacobs on the stop. But a gain of 4 for White.
Jamel White, not only a good runner, but good vision. Good backs have that good vision where they can see a lot of holes before they actually open up. He can see which way the defense is flowing and look for that one block that could spring him, and that's what Jamel White did to pick up a good 5-6 yards in that last carry.
Just kind of run by feel. Ostrom, is it a catch is the question, and apparently it is. The fumble comes out and South Dakota State is on it. Ostrom pleading his case, saying he never had control of the football. But he did take a couple of steps, and coming out of there, Chris Reiner for SDSU, the junior out of Yankton, makes the recovery.
And you got to wonder if he had possession, if he isn't bobbling it. Both feet come down. It was pretty close, but it looked like he did have possession. Turned around and started to run with it, and a pretty good hit to jar it loose. Catch, both feet down. That's a catch. Fumble, Jack's ball.
Not sure who made the hit, but Reiner with the recovery. Rennerfelt rolling this time, looking long. He's got a man over the middle. Complete to the tight end. And that is Chris Paul all the way down inside the 15-yard line of USD. Paul, a junior out of Alexandria, Minnesota, just sneaking out from that tight end spot.
Brown one-on-one with the linebacker. Seat number 44, Raj Clark. He kind of got turned around and lost track of where the receiver was. He started looking for the ball, and Rennerfelt doing a great job on getting the ball into his big tight end.
It was a perfect pass. Paul just lined up on the left side. Kind of a long drag across the field, and Jackrabbits knocking on the door again. 11-yard line, 1st and 10. 7:55 to go before halftime. Ronick pitch sweep. Nelson with a good block inside the 5. Touchdown, Josh Ronick. 11 yards this time. 3rd touchdown of the game already for Ronick.
And the last 5 he was running backwards, carrying a couple of Coyote defenders into the end zone. Josh Ronick, incredible.
Watch the block by Nelson, the fullback. Boom, and that gives Ronick what he needs. Matt Berry, the big center for SDSU, number 70. With the lead, and here's the ISO.
The legs never stop moving. He gets hit, they keep pumping and pumping and pumping, and
just some great blocking. Doug Schultz is 54, who piled his guy all the way into the end zone. 3rd touchdown of the game for Ronick. Christoph DeKramer with the extra point, and the Rabbits back on top by a touchdown. What are they calling that?
The yardometer time. 129 for Ronick, 3 touchdowns so far. Say he has a slight edge over his opponent on the other side of the ball.
Jamel White has a touchdown run of 3 yards, but Ronick has gone 3 yards, 66 yards, and 11 yards on that last touchdown carry. All 3 Rabbit touchdowns. They lead at 21-14 with 7:47 to go before halftime. Here's DeKramer. And that came out of there like a hooded 3-iron.
I see quite a few of those throughout the summer months, but it looked like he was trying to kick it down in the left-hand corner. USD will start off with a pretty good field position on the 35.
Illegal procedure is the official call. Well, the Coyote Booster Club is now accepting new memberships. You can contact the athletic department here at USD. 677-5309 is the phone number to sign up and inquire about the booster clubs here at the university. Coyote Boosters help deserving student athletes get an education at the University of South Dakota, and your membership dues would enhance the Coyote athletic programs here at USD. Sign up today. Again, 677-5309. White pitch sweep. Oyster, the lead block out over the 40. Gain of about 7 for Jamel White.
South Dakota State doing a good job in stringing that out and giving their linebackers a chance to catch up with White. And Jamel tried to cut back in the middle of the field. There's just nowhere to go.
Still a gain of 7 on the run by White. USD had the lead momentarily at 14-7. State's come back with 2 Ronick touchdown runs to take a 21-14 lead. Justice sets him down on 2nd and 3. White, the only back. The delay to him, and Jamel looking left side this time. Great cutback by Jamel White. Out inside the 40-yard line of South Dakota State. And he just had his head on a swivel, just looking which way he wanted to cut it back.
Looking for everywhere. Huge hole right away on the draw, and Jamel White just shot through it. But once he gets into the backfield, watch his head. You're right, Tom. He's just Looking for another hole, trying to avoid a defender, and huge gain for Jamel White.
Oxness finally drops him, but not until he gets to the 38-yard line of SDSU. Good blocking Justin Bridge up front. Another 300-pounder for the Coyotes. Neil Ryan out of Cedar Rapids also on that offensive line for USD. Fake to White this time, and pressure coming from the outside. Justice, nothing to do but go down. Willie Pung, senior out of Brown, Minnesota, was there first. And then 3 more Coyotes finished it off.
Man, he just came in like a shot. He has been getting some pretty good pressure on Ryan Justice here in the second quarter, but he finally got there and caused the disruption.
Oxness finally came in there. Matt Peterson out of Hayfield, Minnesota.
But watching these guys, it's almost like watching an NFL game. It just doesn't do it justice to watch it on TV until you see them in person and how quick they are.
Yeah, you think Ryan Justice is out there. He's 6'3", 210 pounds, the quarterback for USD, and just looks like a little guy.
He does.
Delay again to White. Kind of stumbled a little bit at the 47-yard line, and Oxness there. Pardon me, that's Liggins, Jesse Liggins, 34 on the tackle, along with Hayden.
Like the carpet came up and kind of tagged Jamel White a little bit. He tried to break it to the outside where he had a lot of running room over there, but he kind of tripped, and Melcher doing a good job and wrapping him up.
There's John Austin, was an assistant at the University of Iowa before coming to USD. I mean, the carpet, it's almost too sticky sometimes. No give to it at all when your sneaker comes down on it.
Kind of like Velcro.
3rd and 10 coming up. Justice looking long, and 2 Jackrabbit defenders there, and picked off by SDSU. Jesse Liggins with the interception.
Man, I bet Ryan Justice wants that one back because he had Jamel White streaking down the sideline. He had 2 defenders beat by about a step, and the pass just hung up there and gave Liggins a chance to kind of play center field right there, and he comes down with the pick. But you saw Jamel White, he got behind both defenders. That could have been 7 with a nice pass.
Dale Hayden is the cornerback, 26, and he just kind of was there to make sure that Liggins made the catch. So the turnover gives it back to State. 4:45 to play before halftime from the 12-yard line. Offset ironic, coming back to the right. Good cut back at the 15.
Number 30, Ronick, the ball carrier. Tackle made by number 85, Joe Anderson.
Out to about the 17, call it the 18-yard line. Gain of 6 more yards for Ronick. Out of Tyndall, South Dakota, Bonham High School. Remember those state championship teams? They won the 11B titles in 94 and 95. 2-time state wrestling champion. Just a tough kid, strong kid, smart kid. Pleasure to talk to. Pretty good running back too. Out over the 20.
And quiet. Gives a lot of credit to his offensive line. I mean, all those yards wouldn't be there without the big hogs up front, and he gives credit where credit is due, definitely.
Matt Henjum out of Condie, South Dakota, 77. From the left guard spot that time with one of the lead blocks. Going to be 3rd and 1 coming up for South Dakota State. 3rd and a long one. They got to get out to about the 22-yard line. Loaded up on the right side. Come back to the left side with Ronick, and second effort gets the first down out over the 25-yard line.
Ronick on the carry, gets to the 26-yard line.
And he does. He just bowls into his own guys, sometimes bounces off of them and finds somewhere else to go.
Got to bottle him up. Got to wrap him up. And a lot of times it takes 2 or 3 defenders to do that, but he tried to hit the hole and there was nothing there. And
Matt Berry, 70, ran right up behind him. Again, this game being carried on the webcast on KELOland.com on the internet. If you're tuning into that somewhere across the country, drop us an email at KELOland.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Pass ball is incomplete.
Incompletion will bring up 2nd and 10.
USD coming on the blitz once again, and Rennerfeld basically just dropping back and throwing that one away to save his life. Avoid the big sack deep in their own territory.
Haven't seen it yet, but Rennerfeld at times can get outside and pick up big yardage. 2nd and 10, Barron split left. Chris Gary to the top of your screen. Offset eye again. Looking out to Gary. Chris Gary's got some great hands, and 3rd catch of the game for Gary. Out over the 33-yard line to about the 34.
USD coming on the blitz again, 2nd straight time. You see Raj Clark coming in there, and the Jacks doing a good job picking it up. Rennerfeld the short stop, short drop, 3rd and short.
Chris Gary's about good as gold on that little out pattern. Sophomore out of Sioux Falls, Lincoln. 3rd and 2 for SDSU at their own 34-yard line. Ronick this time nowhere to go. There's Raj Clark coming from the linebacker spot. And a loss of a couple, going to bring up 4th and 4.
And you were kind of wondering when he was going to get the big tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Raj Clark has been shooting through there this whole series. And good job in grabbing Ronick right down in the ankles, and that's a good way to get him down. As South Dakota State will have to punt it away now. 2:27 left before halftime.
Clark, a senior out of Baytown, Texas. A couple of Californians, couple of Texans on this USD roster. A lot of Iowa influence, of course. Only about a half hour from the border here. Half-hour trip to Sioux City from Vermillion. Clock ticking at 2:05 to go. Langland's boot is away from the 20-yard line. Some juking and jiving going on. Kerry Gant out of Davenport, Iowa on the return for USD. So with 1:50 to go before halftime, it'll be Coyote football from the 32 when we come back. One minute, 50 seconds to go before halftime. A 21-14 South Dakota State lead. Rabbits jumped out on top 7-0 on a Josh Ronick touchdown run. Jamel White's touchdown run for USD tied it up at 7. Coyotes took a 14-7 lead as Justice swings it out to Jamel White. Staying in bounds across the 50-yard line. Finally brought down by Jason Melcher. But a big chunk of yardage for the Yotes, and they are in South Dakota State territory. Again, Justice to Mike Weister for a touchdown to put USD up 14-7. And then 2 Ronick touchdown runs tied it up at 14, a 66-yard touchdown run by Ronick, and then an 11-yarder to give South Dakota State back the lead, and that's where we are with 1:35 to go before halftime. Justice again looking out to the right and almost picked off out there by Frank Blaylark. Johnny Cale was the intended receiver. Another look at that Justice to Jamel White swing pass. It got him into South Dakota State territory. Again, the big man, 76, Josh Burr, 310-pounder getting downfield to lead the blocking. 2nd and 10 coming up for USD. Good protection this time for Justice. White to the 40. Hops out of bounds, stops the clock with 1:23 to go at about the 36-yard line. So the Yotes chewing up some yardage on the little swing pass to Jamel White. This time got him in front of the linebackers, and he was searching for that sidelines. Clock stopped, 1:23 to go before halftime. Coyotes still have 2 timeouts to burn if they'd like. This time it'll be running back, Kerry Gant, 21, and they give it straight ahead to him for a couple of yards. 3rd and 1, and they get the first down. Clock stopped at 1:19 to go in the half as they move the chains. First down, USD. And once again, Gant will stay in at the I-back spot, or the lone running back as the Coyotes spread the field here. Justice sets him down. Clock ticking at 1:08. And now a flag comes out. That'll stop the clock at 1:07. And it looked like maybe some movement on that offensive line for USD. We'll wait for the official call here from the Minnesota crew.
Dead ball foul, false start. Left guard.
Neil Ryan would be.
Dead ball foul, false start. Left guard. First down.
The left guard for USD. So that'll back him up to the South Dakota State 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 15. Clock starts again. 1 minute exactly to go before halftime. Spread the field again. Justice looking for White again. And off the tip, Jamel White down to the 30-yard line. Cut back. Great speed. He's got a couple more guys to each of the 20. And all the way down to the 10-yard line goes Jamel White on a little swing pass that was tipped by Justin Jacobs, the SDSU lineman. White made the catch and then made the cut at about the 40 and all the way down to the 10-yard line. Take another look at it. Justice looking out, and there is Jacobs. Went right through his hands. And then the great cut right there to beat the pursuit. Linda Kugel had a shot, but Jamel White all the way down to the 10, and with 44 seconds left, USD will use one of its timeouts. Get a good look at it here from the wide shot. Bang, great quicks. And Hayden, the cornerback, finally turned it back in. But with 44 seconds left, USD looking to tie it back up. USD has a little program on Saturdays. You can come down, take a tour of the campus. November 20th and December 4th are the dates. If you'd like to come down to Vermillion and check out the University of South Dakota, call 1-877-COYOTES or look them up on the internet at www.usd.edu. November 20th, December 4th, Saturday tours here at USD. We are in the DakotaDome in Vermillion. South Dakota State leading USD 21-14, but the Coyotes on 1st and 10. Big stick out in the flat. Eric Porsche made the catch. Now they say he did not make the catch. Clock stopped though at 38 seconds to go. And a big hit out there. Pressure was coming. Porsche from the linebacker spot, and Hayden just came up and popped the ball loose. Dale Hayden Jr. out of Watertown. One of the starting defensive backs here for South Dakota State. 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. Actually, they've got the sticks still up there. USD could conceivably get a first down right at the goal line, but they'll give it to White on a little delay. And Linda Kugel this time, Travis Linda Kugel, the Peer Governor, knocks him down for a loss of almost 8 yards all the way back to the 18-yard line. And the Coyotes will burn their final timeout here. 32 seconds on the clock. But the Yotes had stocked up those timeouts, used all 3 on this drive, trying to tie it up. SDSU on 3 touchdown runs by Josh Ronick, out to a 21-14 lead. Your KELO station, home for the girls State B basketball championship coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from tonight is when we'll have those championship games on November 20th. We'll start it on Thursday evening and afternoon. Actually, we'll have all 4 games on Thursday, November 18th from the Huron Arena. And then on Friday night, the 19th, the semifinal games and the 3rd place and championship game on Saturday, November 20th. That's the girls' State B basketball championships this year from my hometown of Huron, and some excellent teams in Class B this year. As they continue the playoffs, we'll have the fields set by the end of the week. And then all 3 state tournaments coming up, the 18th, 19th, and 20th, and we'll have the B for you from the Huron Arena. So the Coyotes out of timeouts now. It's 3rd and 18 from the 18. 32 seconds left. See if they take a shot into the end zone or go to the sidelines. Official timeout. And now the Jackrabbits take one. Again, one more game left in the regular season for both of these teams. Neither will make the playoffs this year. South Dakota State for a while looked like they would have a shot at it, but they have 3 losses in the conference now to the conference powers, basically. North Dakota State and Northern Colorado playing this afternoon for what should be the conference championship. Both of those teams with 1 loss, but there are no automatic qualifiers for the Division II playoffs in college football. It's all based on the region rankings. NCC will most likely get 2 teams into the postseason, but you never know. But again, both of these teams here, 1 more game left. And we've got plenty of NFL left on CBS tomorrow, starting at 11 o'clock Central Time. Kansas City will play Indianapolis in the 12 o'clock Central Time game tomorrow, and that'll be followed by the Broncos and the Chargers in the late game, a doubleheader on KELO TV tomorrow in the NFL. And again, 2 more high school games coming up tonight with the 11B and the 11AA championship. 3rd and 18, 32 seconds left. Justice with 2 wide receivers left. Hanging it out into the end zone, and touchdown USD. Justice hooked it up with Jeremiah Charlson, and the man from Brookings with his 2nd touchdown reception of the season for the USD Coyotes. Had 2 receivers in the pattern, and there you see Charlson. Chris Reiner, the free safety, came over a little bit late. Excellent toss by Justice. 2nd touchdown pass of the game for Ryan Justice. This one goes 18 yards to Jeremiah Charlson, and the Coyotes tie it up on the extra point by Adam Hicks. One more time, Charlson was in the slot position on that left side, and Justice really put it right the only place it could be for Charlson to catch it, and Reiner not to be able to get there for the Jackrabbits. So tied up at 21.
The Coyotes scoring drive, 8 plays, 68 yards, 1 minute and 23 seconds.
68 yards on the drive. They got 8 plays in under 1:30 of clock time. Tie it up 21-21. See if the Rabbits can rip off a return here. Brock Barron goes deep to receive along with Frank Blaylark. And Filip Filipovic, sophomore from Belgrade, Yugoslavia, will put a foot in it at his own 35-yard line, and the squib trying to keep it away from Barron, who is a dangerous return man. Blaylark from his own 17-yard line, and good coverage by the Coyotes to knock him down at about the 23. SDSU has 1 timeout left, but only 21 seconds on the clock.
By Scott Gordon, number 43.
See how satisfied they are with this 21-21 tie at halftime. Rennerfelt runs them out. Again, both teams put some points up. SDSU averages 29 points a game. 31 points a game. USD averaging 23, so both teams already with 3 touchdowns. Rennerfeld on 1st and 10 to give to Ronick. A good stick there by Josh Stamer, the outside linebacker for USD. gain of only 1. And the clock still ticking under 10 seconds now, and that's going to be the final play of the first half as they'll let it run down. So 21-21 at halftime. Josh Ronick with 3 touchdown runs in the first half for SDSU, runs of 3, 66, and 11 yards for the SDSU sophomore running back, accounting for all of USD's points. Jamel White with a touchdown run for USD, and then Ryan Justice, 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Mike Weister and 1 to Jeremiah Charlson. And we're going to throw it down on the field. John Wilson is standing by with SDSU head coach John Stiglmeyer. Willie?
All right, thanks, Tom. John, pretty entertaining first half, but just one little letdown here at the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, that's disappointing. It starts out with a bad kickoff, kick it out of bounds. Then, that old deal about playing tentative, don't get beat, so you get beat. We got to go out there with confidence. That's what I'm going to tell the football team. Go out and play the way you've been playing. Lay it on the line, see what happens. We're a good football team, all right?
Pretty happy with your offense?
Oh, yeah, our offense is good. We feel good about our offense. Eric's doing a good job of calling it. Josh is a winner. We got guys coming back. We dropped some balls, then they come back, make some plays. So, yeah, I'm very happy.
All right, Coach, say good luck in the second half. Tom?
All right, Eric Eidsness, the new offensive coordinator this year for South Dakota State, calling the plays for the Rabbits. And again, Ronick with 3 touchdown runs. And Stig, the man from Selby, South Dakota State graduate, took over the program a couple of years ago when Mike Daly stepped down, but not real happy with his defense at the moment. But we're tied 21-21 at halftime. (21-21) here at halftime as we get set for the second half. Huge, to me anyway, upset in major college football today. The Minnesota Gophers beat previously unbeaten Penn State 24-23 on a field goal, last-second field goal. So the Gophers knock off number 2 rated Penn State 24-23 today in major college football.
And I believe that win earns the Gophers a bowl bid. They needed one more win.
6 wins, yep.
They could actually almost be undefeated this year with that last-second field goal against Wisconsin that beat them. And same thing with Purdue. And Gophers stringing together a pretty good season.
Penn State knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten. So Florida State still without a loss, as is Virginia Tech. But the Gophers knock off the Nittany Lions this afternoon. Christoph DeKramer will kick it deep. Gant is back. And it'll be Keith Gant from his own goal line. Out over the 20, making a move at the 25. Good cutback by Gant. Shaking and baking at the 32, another cut. Excellent return out to the 34-yard line. So a super return by Gant will set up the Coyotes in good position to start the second half.
A 33-yard return.
Jamel White in the I formation. Ryan Justice, the QB, as the Coyotes set it up. And they go with the big man in the backfield this time. They stuck Per Ostrom, one of the tight ends, in there as the fullback.
Jamel White, the ball carrier.
White picks up about 2 on the carry.
Defensive end Matt Peterson with the tackle. Good job stepping across and turning in White. Not letting him get to the outside where he's oh so dangerous.
A pickup of 3 in the play.
Turned Jamel White in, picked up the tackle.
White, the senior this year for the Coyotes. They go split backs this time behind Justice. On 2nd and 7, run the option. Fullback straight ahead is Weister. Big time yardage for Mike Weister. Great cut at the 25. And finally knocked down at the 19-yard line. And I was still looking back at Ryan Justice, thought he had the football.
And we got a Coyote down in the field, but South Dakota State brought in their 2 outside linebackers again and blitzed, and Weister just broke through the middle of the line, and there's just nobody there. Middle wide open, pretty good move to break it right there by Weister, and he's off to the races.
Miguel Regalado, the starting center for the Coyotes, is being helped off the field. Got up by himself and powering himself over to the sideline. But a 44-yard gain by the big fullback, and he comes off now as they'll put Ostrom back at the fullback spot. Left side for a couple of yards down to about the 16.
Matt Weister breaks another one. We're going to have to add another name to that yardometer down there. I think 168 yards for Josh Ronick in that first half.
At the 17-yard line, a 2-yard pickup.
2nd and 8 coming up from the 17 of the Jackrabbits.
Pretty entertaining game to watch,
yeah.
unless you're a head coach. I mean, a couple of big plays for each team, some penalties, setting up, a couple of touchdowns for both teams.
Yeah, Stig wasn't real happy with his defense in that first half. John Stiglmeyer, state head coach. White on a little delay the other way and cuts it back inside. First down all the way down to the 5-yard line. Just waited for the blockers. Justin Bridge, among others, on the right side of that line.
Jamel White, you see him get right behind his blocker right as he breaks through the line right there, trying to figure out which way his blocker was going to go. His blocker went one way and Jamel went the other, but after a good gain down to the 4.
Josh Burr, the big 6'8", 310-pounder. Got a little gimped up on that one. Limps over to the sideline, so he comes off. White running behind Ostrom again on 1st and goal from the 5. And he got down to about the 3-yard line. Jamel White's next touchdown will set an all-time touchdown record for combined rushing and receiving touchdowns for the Coyotes.
Number 47, Easy.
Be his 9th school record. Actually, he'll set 2 at the same time because he'll break the record for points. His first touchdown put him 2 points away from the all-time record. Again, Ostrom, the lead block. The Jackrabbits coming hard this time. White just bounces off, gets outside, doesn't get into the end zone, but what could have been about a 4-yard loss turns into a gain of 1.
Willie Pung shooting through again from his inside linebacker position. You see Pung ends up on his back, and he tried to give Jamel White a little leg whip, and that's not going to bring him down. But luckily, Jacks pushed Jamel out about the 2-yard line.
Matt Peterson was there along with Pung, and White just backed up. Excuse me. I'll be going this way. Burr back in there on the offensive line. And they loaded up on the right side, double tight end. White from the 2, and it's going to be 4th and goal coming up for USD from about the 1-foot line.
Front line of South Dakota State doing a good job getting some penetration there and bottling things up. See John Austin. And it looks like John Austin's going to go for 3.
Adam Hicks, junior out of Sioux Falls, comes on. 10 of 19 on field goals this season, but this is shorter than an extra point attempt.
South Dakota will attempt an 18-yard field goal. Adam Hicks will kick. Peter Martin will goal.
Out of the hold of Peter Martin, and Hicks gives the Coyotes a 24-21 lead. 10:57 to go, 3rd quarter.
For South Dakota State.
The 18-yard field goal by Hicks. And you got to come out of there with some points.
Especially in a game like this where both teams are pretty much rolling up the score, and you can't march down the field and come away with nothing, as you said. And 3-point game, it's only 24-21 early in the 3rd.
Out over the 40-yard line comes Jesse Liggins, who was deep that time for South Dakota State. Straight sprint up the field and all the way out to the 41-yard line. In the Jacks in white, the Coyotes in the home red. When did that change, by the way? I always thought the home team was in the lighter uniforms.
You're thinking hockey, I think, aren't you?
Does high school still do that?
Do what?
I always thought the home team was supposed to be in the light uniforms.
No, home team are always dark.
All right.
Except in the NHL.
Okay.
Maybe Pee Wee football.
From the 41, Ronick.
Unless you play in hot climates.
And
they always go for the light jerseys, obviously. Doesn't attract the heat. Or unless you're playing the Dallas Cowboys, you always want to wear white. Did you ever hear that? Especially when they play Washington, they always make Dallas Cowboys wear the dark uniforms.
Okay.
Why, I don't know.
Okay. Second and long coming up for the Rabbits. USD opens the second half with a field goal to take the lead. Good catch by Barron, who had to come back for it a little bit. Run out of bounds inside USD territory, and that's going to be very close to a first down.
That was a pretty catch by Barron. The ball was actually thrown behind him, and he kind of did a little 360 to grab the ball and picked up first down for the Jacks.
First down for the Rabbits. Gain of 9 of the play.
So from the 48-yard line of the Coyotes, Gary comes wide left. Buckles to the right. Slapped into the air as Rennerfelt was rudely greeted that time. 93, Liebung.
Knocked down by number 95, Joe Anderson.
They're going to credit Anderson with the breakup of that pass right at the line of scrimmage.
You got the big paw up in the air. You're getting blocked. Next best thing you can do is try and make yourself even larger than you already are.
And he and Rennerfelt were teammates in Oakland, Nebraska. So on 2nd and 10. Again, they come with Gary wide left. Slot man left, Ronick in the eye. 2nd and 10. Rennerfelt looking this way, looking for Gary and Nelson. Now here's Rennerfelt where he can be dangerous, but they don't let him get to the outside. He got about 4 yards on the carry. Ryan Winters, Wade Mitchell coming up to make the stop.
He is quick on the move. He does a good job at avoiding the sack. Right there, instead of taking a 12-yard loss, he tucks it down and ends up gaining a couple of yards.
41 is Wyatt Haynes. We haven't called his number yet, but the leading tackler on the team for USD, a senior out of White Lake, South Dakota. In fact, 2 of the Haynes brothers here on the USD team, and Oakley is still back in White Lake, getting some calls from college coaches. Great track athlete. Rennerfelt again has this one swatted down. Stamer came from the outside linebacker spot.
Quick drop. Stamer coming on in the blitz. He knew he wasn't going to get there. And did a good job of knocking the ball down.
A little frustrating offensive series for State. A couple of block passes and a little short run by Rennerfelt. So on 4th and 6, Jason Langland will drop back. Mitchell, the free safety. The man from Parkston, South Dakota, will drop back for USD at his own 10-yard line.
It's got to be a big momentum boost for USD to come out and stop the Jacks in their first offensive play of the second half. So maybe they'll fire up the offense a little bit and they can get it back in the end zone.
Mitchell kind of faking the fair catch call. Ball rolls out of bounds at about the 12-yard line.
At the 13-yard line.
We'll look at some of that USD defense on that last series. Rennerfelt had a man out there.
And after a couple passes being blocked down, now you're going to have Rennerfelt thinking to himself, how is he going to get the ball out there? He's going to have to change his throwing pattern a couple of times maybe, and that could have affected him instead of just dropping back and firing the ball, which he did in the first half so well.
So the Oats with a 3-point lead and the football at their own 12.5-yard line. Pitch sweep. Here comes Jamel White. Meister with the lead block out to about the 18-yard line. Gain of about 5. Going to be interesting in here to see how that new roof, if it'll totally change the look of the whole place, or again, they would like to. It's not a done deal yet, but they'd like to get a permanent roof in here. A 60-year steel structure is what It really is. The lifespan of this roof was supposed to be 20 years. It's 21 years old now. So it needs to be replaced. And they could go with another fabric roof like this, but they'd like to go with a more permanent structure to cover the DakotaDome. Good yardage ahead for the fullback. Weister out over the 25-yard line to about the 27. First down.
Weister took a pretty good pop right on the shoulder pad, but he stayed on his feet. Picked up another 6 yards for the Coyotes.
So first down, Yotes, their own 27-yard line. Weister on the season, not been that huge a part of the offense, only 30 carries total on the year. But getting a lot of looks this afternoon. Justice right down the line, great cutback. Ball stripped loose. And the Rabbits are going to take it back for a touchdown. 42 is Chris Reiner, the junior out of Yankton. Ball popped right into his hands. No flags, touchdown Jackrabbits.
I was just going to say, Ryan Justice doing a great job on the option, reading the option. Instead of pitching it, he saw a wide open hole right there, and he cuts it upfield, but see, he gets his arm ripped right there.
And I think it was Cody Franson, one of the linebackers, who stripped the ball out of there.
Number 40, Kramer brought to the extra point. Elstetter is holding.
Franson, the sophomore from Langford. And Reiner, the man from Yankton, takes it in for the touchdown. DeKramer tacks on another one, and just like that, the Rabbits back out on top, 28-24 with 7:40 to go in the third. Another look at that fumble return touchdown by Chris Reiner. And it was Phil Oxness, who came in there and knocked the football loose. And a 35-yard return by Chris Reiner leads the team in tackles. And the free safety picks up a defensive touchdown for the Rabbits. And they lead it 28-24. DeKramer will kick it loose again. Gant standing at his own goal line again for USD. Booming boot drives the Yotes 5 yards deep into the end zone, and that's where Tarasowitz will take a knee. They'll bring it out to the 20, and not that it makes up your whole season, but this game, if you're a Coyote and you beat the Jackrabbits, it's a good season, and the other way around.
And you can kind of see that down in the field before the game even started. Both teams pretty jacked up for this one, even though their seasons are kind of down in the dumps. But you got to get up for the interstate battle here.
Coyote Hoops is coming up soon. The first women's home game is December 20th against Concordia, and that'll be at 7 o'clock here in the DakotaDome. The defending NCC champion men's team will play their dome opener on December 7th against Mount Scenario. Season tickets for Coyote Hoops on sale at the DakotaDome box office here, or at 677-5959 for season hoop tickets. Second and 4 coming up for USD. Kale wide left. Weister and White in the eye, the fake. Justice double pumps it, and nobody out there. John Austin was about the closest receiver over on the sideline.
Jason Meltzer doing a good job running stride for stride. He had the ball in his sights as well.
Sean Triplett was the intended receiver. So a 3rd and 4 coming up for USD. There's John Austin with the headphones on. First year as the head coach at USD. The delay, White Nothing doing up the middle. The Rabbits stuff them again, getting up off the bottom. Justin Jacobs, among others, on the stop.
Jack's defense a little more spring in their step after that turnover, run in for a touchdown. This could be a big swing to the game if they can stop the Yotes here. And the way both offenses were scoring before the last series of plays, Jacks could put it in the end zone once more.
Neither team's led by more than a touchdown. Went back and forth in that first half. Filipovic almost didn't get it off, but the rush wasn't coming heavy. Barron wanted to take that one back, but wisely backs off. And now a little extra action going on. Had a couple of personal fouls, 3 of them, in fact, in that first quarter, as the two rivals were trying to show each other who was in command.
Other than that, it's been a pretty clean game as far as mistakes on the field goes. And you kind of expect those in an interstate battle. Kind of get the juices flowing a little bit to get into it.
So big Matt Berry, the senior center for South Dakota State, leads the Rabbits back out. Chris Paul will go to the right side of the formation at the tight end spot. Rennerfelt on 1st and 10. Ronick with the block from Hodorf. Ronick out over the 40-yard line, out to about the 44-yard line, gain of 8. It just looks like he is working so hard, just gets those legs pumping, the shoulders get going in rhythm, and
by the time he hit the line of scrimmage, that hole opened up, and it just seemed like he was making a beeline for it. Almost got through it and broke another one.
And again, good blocking by Hodorf, sophomore from Hot Springs, from that fullback spot, and he stays in there again. Gary in the slot. Brock Barron goes wide left. 2nd and 2. And now Paul comes again to the left side. And they'll run it that way with Ronick. Hodorf, the lead block, trying to cut back, and Ronick will be close to the first down on the second effort. About 4 Coyotes there to knock him down. Mitchell, one of the tacklers, along with Corey Ebel. And he did get the first down again with the second effort. Was hit at about the 45-yard line and bowled ahead to the 47. Wyatt Haynes, the outside linebacker, another member of the tackle squad that time. First and 10, Rabbits, 4:45 to go, third quarter. Straight give this time to the fullback. And Hodorf might have got about a half a yard. But his first carry of the game, I believe. Kind of a keep them honest kind of call. Clock running at 4:20 in the third. And again, second to last game of the season for both of these teams. They'll play the Minnesota Schools next week. 2nd and 9 coming up. Rennerfelt, straight drop, looking for Barron down the sideline and slightly overthrown. I was going to say flat out overthrown, but Barron went flat out to get it and got a hand on it.
I was about ready to say the same thing. I thought he overthrew him by about 5 yards, but Brock Barron.
That's probably why I was throwing it 5 yards behind everybody last night when we were down throwing the ball around after the games. It'll bring up 3rd and 9 now. Barron comes left this time. Chris Gary to the top of your screen. Straight pro set, tight end on the right. Little play fake to Ronick, and again they go to Gary this time down the same sideline and broken up again. That's Russell Burwell, who makes 2 straight plays for USD, and Coyotes hold.
Russell Burwell doing a good job. He got called for interference in the first half. Same type of route, but he was running stride for stride this time and gave himself enough time to turn around and find the ball before the ball actually got there.
South Dakota State with a chance to win 8 games this season. They're 6-3 right now. And in an NCC season, that is a bunch. Langland again, good kick. Drives Gant back inside his 10-yard line, and good return again. Terry Gant quicks it out over the 22-yard line, and timeout on the floor. Jackrabbits with a 4-point lead. Some fans from the great town of Viborg, South Dakota here at the Dome for the ball game this afternoon. Hometown of our producer Paul Christensen. White busting it out over the 30-yard line. Tackle made there by Willie Pung. But again, another good chunk of yardage for Jamel White. Almost 8 yards. They'll give him 8 on the carry. It'll be 2nd and 2.
Jamel White on the carry out to the 32-yard line.
So 1 defensive touchdown thus far in the 3rd quarter. Chris Reiner took back a fumble for South Dakota State to give him a 28-24 lead. Tied 21 all at halftime. Adam Hicks with a field goal for USD. That's the scoring in the 3rd quarter. This time White in motion. Weister straight ahead. And again, they carry out that fake to the maximum. Justin does it well. Justice does it well. Does it justice?
Does it justice. Good job by Weister putting his head down. Picking up pretty good gain with nothing really there. Defense flowing to the right.
First down yardage. 2:45 to go in the 3rd. Charleston comes wide right. Just out of your picture there, and Justice looking that way. Got the drag man over the middle though. Complete to John Kale. Gain of about 15 on the completion.
And Ryan Justice doing another good job in eluding the rush. Matt Peterson comes shooting through there once again and avoids another 10-yard loss and picks up a pretty good gain with the completion.
Knocked down by Melcher, but not before they get into Jackrabbit territory at the 46-yard line. Fake again, Justice looking long. He's got Weister again. Same play they scored the touchdown on, and Weister all the way down to the 13-yard line of SDSU.
And the same thing happened when they scored that touchdown. The strong safety, Jason Melcher, bit on the fake and came up to try and stop the run and left his zone wide open right down the middle. Weister took advantage of it. There's that good play fake to Jamel White, but she carries out so well, and that just opened the middle wide open.
I mean, if you're a linebacker or a D-back, you see the fullback come through there and not hit anybody. It kind of sets something off in your head, but it's a little too late by the time you realize that he's 5 yards behind you. Minute 40 to go. Straight quarterback draw, and Justice dragging people down inside the 5-yard line.
He's still not down.
Got hit at about the 7 and ended up at the 2-yard line. And gets the Red Faithful going.
Man, and you could just hear the hitting going on down there too. Right there, he gets sandwiched, he keeps the legs going. He's still going. They finally stop his progress right there and push him back, but gutsy run by the young freshman quarterback.
First down, Coyotes at the 2-yard line. Willie Pung, the linebacker among others, on the tackle. And South Dakota State held them out of the end zone on 3 straight plays from about this distance on that drive when the Coyotes had to settle for a field goal. This time White bouncing outside, and Jamel White, touchdown USD.
There is no way you're going to arm tackle that man right there. Jamel White playing in his final game down here at the DakotaDome. one of 10 seniors playing their final home game, and he just lowers his shoulders and see the defender hitting him in the backfield right there, trying to hang on. It's Jeff Schultz, but just pulls him right into the end zone for 6.
And Jamel White is now the all-time touchdown leader and point leader at the University of South Dakota. The snap was not there. Martin just fumbled it, but the conversion no good. But the Coyotes go back up 30-28 now. And again, Jamel White, second touchdown of the game. We'll talk about that in a second. Girls hoop coming up from the Huron Arena in 2 weeks, November 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we'll have all the first round games and then the semifinals on Friday night and the third place and championship games on Saturday, November 20th from the State B Championship in Huron this year. Jamel White now with 21 touchdowns on the season, and that is a new USD record for combined touchdowns. That's rushing and receiving. He's got 16 on the ground, 5 touchdown receptions, and Jamel White with another record. He's got 2 more records now because he's the points leader now, so he holds 10 USD rushing records, scoring records, and the boot comes down at the 28-yard line, and SDSU will take it over there at about the 31.
Kind of a little pooch kick there by the Coyotes, maybe trying to catch South Dakota State a little off guard in that second line.
Jeff Schultz, the man-child from Freeman, South Dakota, in there on the kickoff return team for South Dakota State. His boys won their 4th straight state championship yesterday. Freeman, Corsica, Stickney, Mount Vernon, and Vermillion with high school championships yesterday. 2 more games coming up tonight. Little quick hitter to Chris Gary. Picked up a couple.
And you just wonder how many more is left down in Freeman, you know. Everybody keeps thinking, well, next year is going to be a down year, but Jim Eisenbray just keeps coming back and reloading again.
They'll graduate Brett Shearslick this year, next spring, but he played on 4 straight state championship teams at Freeman. Seth Walter will be back for 1 more year.
And just think how many kids never make it down here, and he's been down here all 4 years of his high school career.
Chris Paul goes to the right side as they load it up over there, and Ronick looking that way, putting the head down out over the 41-yard line, short of a first down, but a gain of about 6.
And I think that's where Josh Ronick picks up a lot of his speed. He puts his head down and just tries to bust through the line, and a lot of times he gets through there and boom, he's gone. He's already at full speed.
That's the end of 3 quarters, and the Coyotes jump back out on top, back with the 4th from Vermillion after this. Jackrabbits on 3rd and 1. Nelson back in at the fullback spot. Chris Paul comes right. Ronick needed to get to about the 41.5-yard line. I don't know where they'll give him the spot, but it's going to be 4th down. Ronick got nothing on that carry, but 4th and less than a yard.
Josh Ronick right here, he kind of lost his footing. Instead of hitting that hole, he avoided the defender, and he kind of tripped over the carpet again and lunged forward, but his knee went down right on the 40, and the Jacks are going to go.
Rennerfelt changing it up. Ronick straight ahead. No, I don't know. It's going to depend on the spot here. He needed about a half a yard, and they might get it. Ryan Winters, one of the linebackers, was there.
It's going to be
along
close.
with Haynes, and yeah, they'll have to measure, but
it's kind of hard to call. It looked like his forward momentum may have got him out to the 42, but they spot it right in between the 41 and the 42, so it's going to be a matter of inches. And he got it. Oh, no. No? I can't see that far.
They got it by about an inch.
Kind of depending on which way you tilt the stick on that one.
And the angle, you had to be right perpendicular to the football to see that he got it by just the tip of the football. So big first down pickup for South Dakota State. They trail it by 2. Just underway in the 4th quarter. So 1st and 10 from the 41. Rennerfelt had the tight end Paul kind of dragging across the middle, but tucks it under, picks up some pretty good yardage.
You know, a lot of times quarterbacks tuck it down and run for the sidelines, but here that's really not an option because there's no room over here on the sidelines. It's either cut it back upfield and take a hit or end up going into the wall a lot of times.
He was looking for Paul, but tucked it under. 8 yards on the carry for Rennerfelt out to the 49-yard line. 2nd and 2 coming up. The play's dead.
We have a flag on the field.
Kind of penalty before the snap. Had the completion to Buckles, but play was off.
Dead ball foul.
Illegal procedure. Calling against State.
All right, dead ball foul. Full start, number 30 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
Got Ronick leaning somewhere. There's John Stiglmeyer.
2nd and 8 at the 44-yard line.
The Steak Show is on KELO TV Sunday nights after the news. Buckles again comes right. 2nd and 7 now after the 5-yard penalty. They're looking for the same play. He's got Buckles down the sideline. Rennerfelt finds him. And all the way down inside the 20-yard line.
I think the quarterback, Wade Mitchell, bid on that fake. Great fake. The pump fake to freeze that.
Bottom of your screen is the matchup.
And it's hard to tell if that was an intentional fake or if he just pulled the ball back down to try to avoid another block pass at the line of scrimmage, but whatever it was, it worked out perfectly.
And a perfect toss by Rennerfelt, 37-yard completion all the way down inside the 20 now. Pitch sweep, Ronick avoids the initial penetration. Mitchell came up and knocked him down at about the 10-yard line.
A 9-yard pickup.
It'll be 2nd and short coming up.
Tackle made for South Dakota by Corey.
Little slip step right there as Raj Clark came in again. Good stick by Mitchell. Raj Clark's been flying in there.
He's been in the back
numerous times.
He's been in the Jacks backfield quite a bit, but only got a couple of tackles back there with Josh Ronick avoiding him most of the game.
2nd and 1, Rennerfelt. Kind of threw it into coverage there. Mitchell came over to break it up. He had Paul right in the center of the end zone and was looking instead for Chris Gary. Got an injured Jackrabbit player, and it looks like the fullback Nelson. Good pop by Mitchell to come over, and the ball really wasn't going to be caught anyway by Gary, but it'll bring up 3rd and 1 anyway. Good time to take a shot at the end zone, of course. 2nd and 1. Now you can come back, pick up the first down. So Nelson comes off. I don't know if it was an injury or an equipment deal, but Hodorf back in there at the fullback spot. Straight double tight end set this time. Ronick running behind Hodorf. And the ball comes loose. Coyotes are on it at the 6-yard line. Ronick was kind of running away from us up here, and
Don't see that very often.
He made the strip.
Busted through the line. It looked like he easily picked up the first down. It looked like somebody just stuck an arm in there and pulled the ball right there. Nice tackle by Devin Harvey, getting his arm in there and stripping the ball loose. Coyote recover. They're back in business.
South Dakota takes over. First and 10 at the 7-yard line.
That's kind of like the double play to end the inning. Big rally killer. State was driving it in.
Plenty of time left in the game, 11:43, but still, you don't want to turn the ball over deep in the opponent's end of the field. And that could turn around to be costly for South Dakota State.
Gain of a couple on first down. 2nd and 8 coming up. Second and long, back in the eye. Split receivers, and now White in motion. Option. Weister on the carry. Got just outside the 10, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 6 now. Just outside their own 10-yard line for USD.
It's 3rd and 6 for South Dakota.
Man, the way they sell that fake to the fullback, Justice could pull it out of there and pick up 6 yards about any time he wanted to, seems like anyway.
It's tough to see. The back's doing a good job carrying out those fakes. Big play here for the Jacks. If they can stop the Yotes after that turnover.
Complete out over the 15-yard lines, but going to be short of a first down.
At the 16-yard line, a 5-yard pickup.
Jesse Haynes, the other Haynes brother from White Lake, made the catch, but about a yard short of a first down. So Filipovich will have to punt again from about his own 5-yard line. Barron standing back at the 50-yard line for SDSU. Good spiraling kick, but Barron will get a return on it from his own 47. And that's going to be a penalty. Ooh, I thought there was going to be a penalty coming out. No flags on the play, but SDSU football when we come back. To 28 here. They just flashed some NCC scores up on the big board here at the Dome, and Augustana with an upset this afternoon. According to the Dome board here, Vikings beat Nebraska Omaha 31-24.
Good game for Jim Heinitz and the crew. We'll have some highlights of that coming up. KELO Land Weekend News at 5.
Ronick just slithering through there, gain of about 9.
Gets near the 44-yard line.
And they're still talking.
Mitchell and Stamer with the tackle for South Dakota.
Take another look. He just slithers between about 6 red shirts.
Squares the shoulders up to the line of scrimmage and puts his head down and just keeps the legs chopping until he's either down or out in wide open field running for a touchdown.
2nd and 1, 2nd and a long one. Just inside the USD 45-yard line. Rennerfelt hanging it out, and Buckles just got hung up. I don't know if he got held up or just didn't run the pattern.
A little miscommunication there. Buckholz just went out and turned around like a little square in, button hook, and obviously Rennerfelt thought he was doing that sideline fade again.
Burwell on the coverage. 3rd and 1 coming up for SDSU, and they trail it by 2. USD couldn't convert the point after that last touchdown, so just a 2-point lead. And it's 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Both fullbacks in. Ronick pops it up, see if he can make something out of it, and will not happen. Lost about 2 yards on the play. Stamer came up to make the tackle. Ryan Winters also there. Billy Gasson from Rapid City also in on the tackle.
Looked like Rennerfeld's pitch was just a little behind Josh Ronick, and he had to come back for the ball. Took his eye off it a little bit, worried about that 1 yard he had to gain for the first down. Tried to make something happen, but couldn't. And the Coyotes are going to take a timeout.
8:19 to play in the fourth. It is 4th down and 4 for South Dakota State. They're going to go for it at the USD 47-yard line. Rennerfeld the pump. Gary is open, but overthrown, and a flag comes in. It's going to be a first down, South Dakota State. Interference is...
Wade Mitchell bit on that fake again, and
Gary had about 4 red shirts around him, but one of them held onto his arm going by.
Yeah, it's off the screen, but you see right down the bottom of your screen.
And yeah, it was Mitchell.
Fake. Wade Mitchell bit, and instead of being burned for a touchdown.
Defensive holding number 5 on the pass results in a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So they converted one way or the other on 4th and 4. And I'm pretty sure it was 6. Mitchell on the penalty that time, but first down regardless. 37-yard line now of USD, and Ronick looking for some room this time. Full speed as he hits the hole this time inside the 30.
Ronick on the carry. Gets across the 30-yard line.
And you can't say enough about the job that John Hodorf and Mark Nelson, the blocking backs, do
Tackle made by Triplett and Winter.
to open up those holes for Josh Ronick. Burwell's down momentarily, back up now.
And there was just nothing there, and Josh Ronick was, running side to side and just bought some time. Turned, squared himself up again. That's why he's just such a good runner. Does everything right.
Did make the mistake, had the fumble on the last South Dakota State drive. Got to believe he made a mental note to himself. Make sure you hang on to the football. 7:40 to play in the fourth. And on 2nd and 3 now. Hodorf again in there at the blocking back. And they go a little trap this time, and Ronick's second effort got the first down to about the 26-yard line.
Tackle made for South Dakota by Ryan Winters. Ball is at the 26-yard line. Our pickup of 3.
And they look there, looked like his knee was down a couple yards back, but he stayed on his toes and on his hand, using some of those wrestling skills.
South Dakota State doing a good job. There's your yardometer. Josh Ronick approaching another 200-yard day.
Jamel White, no slouch today either. 2 touchdown runs for him. Ronick has 3 touchdowns in the game, and play called off.
Flags on the field.
Most likely motion on the Rabbits. 7:05 up on the clock, fourth quarter. And a false start is the indication.
Dead ball foul. Full start, number 74 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
They catch Brad Beck with a false start. 1st and 15 then for South Dakota State at the 31-yard line.
Where it is 1st and 15.
Look at Danny Feldheim there, number 3 for South Dakota State. Signals in the plays from the sidelines. Split backs this time. They wanted to swing it out to Ronick. On a pass, he's got Brock Barron open at about the 10, but they wanted to go to Ronick. But the defensive end out there, I think it was Haynes for USD, took away that option.
I think you were right. I think Ronick was the first option off of that. And Brock Barron was running his route, and Rennerfeld actually threw it before Barron turned around and looked for it.
I think Rennerfeld thought he had to get rid of it. He did have more time if he wanted to keep it longer.
And Barron actually had a step on the defender, too. Would have been reachable.
Well, a field goal will give the Jackrabbits the lead. They would love to stick a touchdown in here. They trail it by 2. Rennerfelt wants timeout. And we will take one too. 6:41 to play in the fourth quarter. So after the SDSU timeout, both teams still with 2 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 15. They put Ronick in the slot left. Rennerfelt looking right first, and now to Ronick at the 22-yard line.
Pass is caught by Ronick.
And hog-tied there.
23-yard line, the tackle made by Josh Stamer. Another action
after a gain of about 8 yards. The 3rd and long still coming up. Stamer on the tackle.
And Stickney Mount Vernon defeated Kessel at 44-22. 2 more champions will be crowned this evening here in the DakotaDome.
Clock ticking at 6:05 to go, fourth quarter, midway through. It might be the final quarter.
Jack's
Coyote lead.
Jack's chewing up a lot of time on this drive as well. They can come away with the score here.
The trips formation. Rennerfelt. Oh, he had Gary open. So it's going to be 4th and long coming up. Devin Harvey came up, made the stick.
Yeah, Devin Harvey actually fell down right when Rennerfelt threw that. If he could have got completion, that would have been maybe 6 points for Devin Harvey.
We're going to have a field goal attempt coming up by Christoph DeKramer. He'll set the tee down at the 30-yard line. DeKramer on the season just 5 of 14 in the field goal category. This will be from 40 yards to give the Rabbits the lead. Did it get there? No. Short and right. And again, USD keeps South Dakota State off the board. Jackrabbits fumbled it last time down, and they had to settle for a field goal attempt from 40 yards. No good.
Snap was low on the field goal, and finally got it up, and just looked like DeKramer almost hit it fat. You're thinking of golf terms.
USD has their fall honors program coming up in about a month, December 5th and 6th. Call 877-COYOTES for more information on that. Again, the basketball teams about to start their seasons. Coyote men should be very good again. 4 starters back from last year's team that went 23-6 and lost in the region finals.
A gain of 4 on the play.
So South Dakota State with just that defensive touchdown here in the second half. Ronick's been held in check. Jackrabbits put together a pretty good drive previous to that last drive, but couldn't stick it in. So they trail it 30-28. USD with a field goal and a touchdown, a missed conversion kick, and they lead it by 2. Gant this time out of the backfield and a big first down. Some of the Coyote offensive linemen getting cranked up now. Nate Irwin, Josh Burr over on the right side of the line. Gain of 8 on the carry for Gant, 35-yard line. 1st and 10. And again, time starting to be a factor, 4:44 to go in the fourth. And now Coyotes have to burn a timeout.
We have timeout called on the field.
We will take one also. 4:40 to go in the fourth. See if the Coyotes can salt this one away. First and 10, Coyotes, 4:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Been a scoreless fourth quarter so far. 30-28, the Coyotes with the lead. Straight ahead again, Weister, the fullback. Gain of about 3.
A 38-yard line. A 3-yard pickup.
USD looking to win its 4th game overall this season, looking to improve to 3-5 in the conference. South Dakota State 6-3 overall, 4-3 in the NCC coming into this game.
Thank you for your cooperation.
In Northern Colorado, North Dakota State, North Dakota, all 6-1 in the NCC going into this afternoon's games. And Northern Colorado, North Dakota State playing each other out in Greeley this afternoon. White this time, knocked down after a short gain, just inside the 40. But the North Dakota program's kind of resurging this year after a couple of down years. North Dakota with a big lead on St. Cloud State in that ball game going on right now. So it looks like the Sioux at least will improve to 7-1 in the league. 3rd and 5, big play here for the Jackrabbit defenses. They need to get the ball back. They trail it by 2. Delay, White, nothing doing this time. Maybe got a yard, but the Jackrabbit defenders, they're in a hurry. 92 is Matt Peterson.
Those linebackers were just sitting there waiting for Jamel White on that draw. Didn't fake him out at all. Jacks will get the ball back just under 3 minutes. See if they can come back and take the lead in this one.
4th and 4. Filipovich at his own 26-yard line to boot it away. Barron is deep for South Dakota State. Trying to run some time off the clock. It keeps ticking at 2 minutes and 33 seconds now, and they'll run it down as far as they can. Finally 2:30 left. When the snap comes, Barron will get a return from his own 26-yard line. And not much doing there.
Barron fields the kick. He's brought down by number 13,
Eric Tarasowicz out of Cottage Grove, Minnesota.
A return of 1. 43-yard punt.
Well, the Rabbits will take over with 2:21 on the clock. And again, Coyote hoops just around the corner. Season tickets for the USD basketball teams on sale now at the DakotaDome box office, or you can order those by phone. 677-5959 is the number. 16 women's games, 13 men's games for just $100, the season ticket price this year for USD basketball. And again, another pass swatted at the line by the Coyote defenders.
Big Scott Larson, 6'2", 260. Got the big paw up there, and that's 3rd knockdown at the line of scrimmage for the University of South Dakota. And Andy Rennerfeld, as I mentioned before, is going to have to find a way to get the ball out of there.
Larson, the man from Modridge. All those defensive linemen, of course, huge guys, 6'4", 6'5". Rennerfeld goes about 6'1". On a 2nd and 10 now. Clock stopped at 2:18 after the incomplete pass. Looking long, he's got Barron, and that's going to be a definite pass interference penalty. And again, he was beat on the play. It was Burwell again, but of course in college it's not at the point of the interference where you get the football. It's a 15-yard penalty, but might have been a pretty smart play.
I was going to say, you never want a penalty, but that was way too obvious there, but it's better than giving up 6 points, especially at this point of the game.
I don't know if Barron would have caught up with the ball, but
Andy Rennerfeld just throws a pretty pass, doesn't he?
Defensive pass interference, number 23 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, 1st down, automatic.
Gets it up in the air and lets the receiver run underneath it.
So a big chunk of yards. They only ran 5 seconds off the clock, and it stops again with 2:13 left. So 1st and 10, Rabbits from their own 42-yard line. They need a field goal to take the lead. Missed the field goal on the last possession. Good catch again by Chris Gary. Gain of about 4. His 4th catch of the game already.
Brought down by number 8, Josh Skamer. We have timeout called on the field by South Dakota State.
Jackrabbits want timeout, and we'll take one too. Back to the Dome with 2:03 left to play in the 4th. South Dakota State with 1 timeout remaining. Coyotes also with 1 left, but 2nd and 6 coming up. SDSU from their own 47-yard line. Spread it out. Ronick, the only back left. And they'll give it to him. Pull the guard out. Ronick busting into the USD secondary. Can he be caught? They've got an angle on him, and Stamer comes over. Touchdown, Ronick.
Unbelievable.
53 yards for the touchdown.
I was just going to say, University of South Dakota, they were kind of looking for the pass. Josh Ronick, the only back in the backfield, and you see the guards pulling right there. Boom. He breaks out, and you aren't going to catch him.
So with 1:54 on the clock, Ronick goes 53 yards, adds that to his runs of 66 yards, 11 yards, and 3 yards. Touchdown runs, 4 on the afternoon for Ronick. Gives him 22 on the season.
Wow.
So a 4-point South Dakota State lead. They'll go for 2 to try to make it at least a touchdown lead, and they get the conversion to Chris Paul. So a good smart move there. It gives them a 6-point lead with 1:54 left. Another look at the Ronick touchdown.
Just fluid runner.
And just a sweet move right there at the 30, and he was gone.
There's the 2-point conversion. Rennerfeld just rolling out to the right and locking up with his big tight end. Chris Paul for 2, 6-point lead for the Jacks. Well, now USD has got to respond. Maybe this one will end the way it started out.
Ronick had 218 yards against the Coyotes last year. He's eclipsed that already in the ball game this year. 4 touchdowns for Ronick. The Coyotes with 1 timeout left. Got to believe DeKramer will kick it deep, try to kick it out of the end zone if he can. Avoid any kind of return for the Coyotes. And instead he puts a rug burner out there, taken short at the 21-yard line and out over the 33-yard line by the big man Aaron Dietrich from Emmitsburg, Iowa.
Returns the kickoff out to the 34-yard line.
So 1:50 up on the clock, 1 timeout for the Coyotes.
That return by number 91, Aaron Dietrich.
And it kind of, well, maybe not yet, but kind of takes the ball out of Jamel White's hands. They spread it out. Go to the air with Justice. And that's one way, I guess. Oh! Casey Hillman comes up and picks it off for the Jackrabbits. And that is going to seal it up. Justice was looking for White out of the backfield, and Hillman saw it coming all the way. And a flag at the end of the play might be for celebration, but it will not negate the touchdown return by Casey Hillman.
And it almost looked like the ball was tipped, but it wasn't tipped. It was just thrown up in the middle of a couple of Coyote receivers, and Casey Hillman.
2nd interception return of the season for Hillman. He had a big one against Augustana to help him win that football game. That makes it 42-30. And again, Hillman, the sophomore from Sioux Falls, O'Gorman. Huge play to help probably seal it up here for South Dakota State. And it will be a celebration penalty, an unsportsmanlike something after the touchdown. So it'll back the extra point attempt back to the 25-yard line. Kramer's boot right down the middle. So it gives SDSU a 13-point lead. John Stiegelmeyer was waving go for 1 anyway before he even knew the penalty was out there. So a 2-touchdown lead for South Dakota State with 1:42 left. So in the span of 12 seconds on the game clock, they score 13 points.
After
They score 15 points.
After a scoreless whole fourth quarter. Pretty exciting way to end this one. If you're a State fan, anyway.
So 43-30 with 1:42 left. Well, some of the Yote fans call it a day after that last touchdown. Filing out a few of them. The blue and gold, on the other hand, staying in the seats. Good squib again by DeKramer. Picked up by Gant. Good pop at the 17-yard line.
Out to the 18-yard line.
So now the Jackrabbit D can really get aggressive if they want to. But Justice will bring the Coyotes back out with 1:36 left. Down by 2 touchdowns. There's Gant, who's had some nice returns for the Coyotes. Gant, just a freshman out of Davenport, Iowa. Spread them out again. White in the backfield. Justice dropping, looking, sideline. Had a man, but overthrown out there. Looking for John Kale.
Little timing pattern out to the right. Threw it a little too far out, but yeah, Coyotes are going to have to go to the air here and try and get something, make something happen here in a minute and a half to do it. But
to the air and to the sideline, most likely to get out of bounds, stop the clock. Just 1:31 up there. But looking at the moment like SDSU is going to improve to 7-3 on the season. A little pressure coming this time. White out of the backfield, trying to get to the sideline now.
Pass is caught by White.
And does.
Knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 7-yard pickup.
At the 25, gain of 7, but another 9 seconds off the clock. And again, Willie Pung came over along with Hillman to make the stop. Casey Hillman, Mr. Big Play for South Dakota State. Remember Vic Sosa, where the Jackrabbits would seem like he would come up with a big pick when they needed one in years past. A couple of years ago for South Dakota State, but Hillman, one of those returning defensive players for the Rabbits, with a big one here. Justice complete out over the 35-yard line to Haynes, Jesse Haynes.
At the 36-yard line. An 11-yard
Clock stopped momentarily while the sticks move. But 4 touchdown runs in the game for Josh Ronick.
see Ryan Justice is thinking of spiking the ball. That was before he found out they had a first down. The clock stops. No need to do that and waste it down.
Caught by Porsche.
Number 87, Porsche. He's brought down at the 40-yard line. A 4-yard pickup.
Clock runs under a minute now. Gain of about 5. Justice barking out the play at the line. Justice wants to run it and get out of bounds, but does not. Just across the 50-yard line. They might have to call a timeout right now.
To the South Dakota State 49-yard line.
It is a first down. Clock stops for a second. Coyotes do take the timeout. We'll be right back to wrap it up. Coyotes burn their last timeout. Looking down the sidelines, and the catch is made at the 35-yard line. John Kale.
John Kale with the catch.
Clock stopped again, 35 seconds. While they move the chains. With the Coyotes out of timeouts now. Justice calling the play, and the clock will stay stopped. He got out of bounds, so the freshman, he's got a man over the middle. Charleston was there at about the 7-yard line. broken up though. Melcher and
Here's an update on major college action.
Dale Hayden, the free safety, or one of the corners rather, also there to break it up, along with Liggins.
Also in the fourth quarter, Texas Tech 28, Iowa State 16. Halftime score, Oklahoma 10, Missouri nothing.
And again, one big upset in major college football today. Minnesota beat Penn State 24-23 on a field goal in the closing seconds. So number 2 rated Penn State knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten today by the Gophers. Big win for Augustana this afternoon. Augie beat Nebraska Omaha 31-24 up in Sioux Falls. Some highlights of that game coming up on the weekend news, which will be at 5 o'clock tonight. And we'll follow that with our 2 high school championship games this evening. Jesse Haynes with the catch inside the 20, but just 23 seconds left on the clock for USD.
An update of North Central Conference scores now on the KELO scoreboard.
Official timeout to get the ball set. 23 seconds left. Charleston and Haynes come left. Need to take a shot at the end zone. Justice was looking for Haynes over the middle, but Hillman was there.
Once again, North Central Conference scores now posted.
And again, Northern Colorado leading North Dakota State 35-20 late in that ball game. But South Dakota State here is going to win it. The Jackrabbits will go to 7-3 overall and improve to 5-3 in the conference. And they've got one date left next week with St. Cloud State. Again, shot into the end zone and broken up there. Charleston was the intended receiver, and Jesse Liggins came over to knock it away. Liggins, just a freshman out of Aurora, Colorado. So 2 more shots maybe here. It's 3rd and 10 for USD. Coyotes will drop to 2-6 in the conference and 3-7 overall on the season. But again, the John Austin program being put in place. Take them a couple years to see where it'll take them. Justice, 5 receivers out there, and again on 3rd and 10. Nothing happening, so 4th down coming up.
Jack's defensive back still playing hard with some pride on the line here to keep the Coyotes out of the end zone, even though the game is over. Standing ovation from the state faithful across the way.
Again, high school football coming up tonight. 5:30, the 11B state championship game, Gregory against Harrisburg. And that'll be followed by Yankton and Sioux Falls O'Gorman in the 11 AA championship. Probably 8:30 kickoff for that game tonight. Justice again, he's got White over the middle, Jamel White down to the 1-yard line. But they might not get another play off. 3 seconds left, they're out of timeouts. They will, if they can get it set here. Chains are moving. Justice spikes it with 1 second left. And as you say, they just want to get one more score on the boys from up north.
I mean, look at the scoreboard, 43-30. Actually a pretty close game, except that last 2 minutes of the 4th quarter here, where South Dakota State scored a couple of quick ones, take the lead.
State with 2 defensive touchdowns today. The Hillman interception return and a fumble return, 35 yards by Chris Reiner back in the 3rd quarter. That put together with 4 Josh Ronick touchdowns. Justice to White straight ahead. And the Rabbits keep him out of the end zone, and that's going to do it. SDSU wins the in-state rivalry with South Dakota. 43-30 is the final. The Jackrabbits
South Dakota High School football playoffs. Our first game at 5:30.
go to 7-3. They're 5-3 in the NCC.
This is Dan Paradis, president of
Josh Ronick, the Harlan Hill candidate, touchdown runs of 3 yards, 66 yards, 11 yards, and busted off a 53-yarder in the fourth quarter to give South Dakota State back the lead, and then Hillman tacks on the interception return, and that is the final, 43-30. And we're going to step aside one more time. We'll be back to wrap it up from the DakotaDome in Vermillion, where South Dakota State wins it this afternoon over the Coyotes. We'll be right back.
North Central Conference football on KELO Land TV is sponsored by the University of South Dakota, setting the standard. Amdahl Motors, your local Chrysler, GM, and Plymouth dealer in Pipestone, Minnesota. South Dakota Beef Council, it's what's for dinner. East River Electric, your local electric cooperative, a touch-tone energy partner. Norwest Bank, your local financial solution stores. And South Dakota State University, knowledge for life.